Could we see something along those lines this week? Obviously, this is going to be the fallout from Survivor Series. We've already seen a little bit to do with the Bloodline. So I don't know what we're going to get in regards to like the Bloodline this week. Although I do remember them saying that there is going to be a Sami Zayn sort of Uso initiation type ceremony. So we're definitely going to get something Bloodline. We're surely going to get some at Bray because there really wasn't anything at Survivor Series. Obviously, we saw Alexa and the logo. That's continuing. So clearly there's something happening there. But yeah, is LA Knight going to get attacked again? Obviously, Bray said he is not responsible. It would be nice if we didn't get another attack and if we actually got like an answer of some sort. Like, it's been a couple of weeks now, so it would be nice if we got something other than an attack, but I don't know. We'll see what we get. I'm sure whatever we get will be entertaining. I can tell you that we've got the SmackDown World Cup final tonight between Ricochet and Pablo. Is it Pablo? No. Santos. It's definitely not Pablo Escobar. Santos Escobar. We've got the final for that. Damage Control are coming over to the blue brand as well, apparently. Popping over, saying hello. That's nice. And the show's going to open with Sami against Sheamus. So Sami against Sheamus, we've got that going to open the show tonight. So that's what's going to open the show. I'm just having a look to see if there's anything else on Twitter that's been announced, but I don't think there is at the moment. So by the looks of it, it looks like that is pretty much everything. There is an announcement for Tribute to the Troops. Here we go. Let's have a look and see what this Tribute to the Troops thing is. As reported by Fox News, WWE today announced the 20th anniversary Tribute to the Troops. It will take place on December 17th on Fox. In what is considered WWE's most patriotic and heartwarming show of the year, the company began tribute to the troops to honor our servicemen and women and their families and thank them for their continued sacrifice for our country. The 20th anniversary will feature a stacked card that includes Ronda Rousey, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Sheamus, Imperium, and other WWE superstars. Last year's event on Fox was the most watched tribute to the troops since 2014, drawing more than 2 million viewers. I think this is really annoying for me because I don't have access to this show. Like, I cannot watch this show. This is not a show that is shown here in the UK. I don't have visibility for this. So I did not watch, or I certainly don't remember watching last year's Tribute to the Troops. I would like to watch it, to be honest, on the 17th. Saturday the 17th. It's going to be at, 7:30 on that Saturday. I'd like to watch that. I want to watch that. So, I don't know if I'll be able to find, like, a way of watching it. I mean, is there a way of watching Fox if you don't live in America? Like, is there a way? I mean, I'm sure I could VPN or something, but I don't know. We'll look into it. We'll see what we can do with that. But that is coming up as well. So, there we go. That's pretty much what we've got happening on the show tonight. Close that down. There's lots of like videos that are making noise. I hope they weren't like playing through, because last thing I need is copyright strikes. Trent says, is this the return of laggy days? Hope not. It's not showing as lagging, so hopefully it didn't lag away there, so hopefully not. But Trent, I hope you're well. Thomas said, what do you think of Eric Young coming back? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I'm not crazy about it. I'm not against it. I mean, if he wants to come back and they want to bring him back, that's fine. But I don't know. I'm just like, it's not anything that moves a needle for me personally. I mean, I feel like it's interesting in the sense of we've just turned Nikki into like Sanity Nikki. So I look at that and think, well, are they looking to bring him back to reform Sanity? So could it be that we're going to do that? Or do we put him with Bobby Roode and maybe do a tag team and something along those lines. Like, I think if we're going to do that, then I'm a bit more into it, if you will. Like, I thought Sanity were all right, but I ain't crazy about seeing Sanity back. Like, it doesn't make any difference to me if they're here or if they're not, to be honest. If you put him in a tag team with Bobby Roode, sounds pretty fun, but it doesn't move the needle. I mean, I'm just not that fussed. So, I don't know, like, some of these returns from Triple H have been exciting. You know, I think a lot of people were excited to see Carrion back. A lot of people were excited to see Bray coming back. A lot of people were really pleased that he'd managed to convince Johnny to come back as well. But then you look at maybe some of the other ones, and like Emma, for example, who I don't mind. I don't mind Emma, but I don't know that that's one that's like got people really excited. Or Hit Row. I don't know that Hit Row was one that like moved the dial for people. And now, yeah, the latest one is, well, it's like Chelsea Green and Eric Young. So I don't know. Do we need them? I don't know. I feel like there's quite a bit of talent that we've already got that we could utilize. So yeah, I'm not against it, but not like doing cartwheel. I'm surprised Eric Young is returning to WWE. I thought he had a good thing with VBD faction, says Jim. Eric said, road to WrestleMania pre-starts tonight with no more December pay-per-view. I mean, like, for me, the road to WrestleMania isn't going to begin until we hit January, really. I don't know that the road for WrestleMania is like going to start now. They tend to say the road to WrestleMania is the Rumble. And then this year, because of day one, they moved it to that. I think it'd be a bit early to start the road to WrestleMania now before the holiday, like so. I would say probably not, to be honest. Probably not. WWE could probably use Eric Young as a producer or coach if there's nothing they can find for him booking wise. Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's options. I mean, you could do Sanity. You could put him in a team with Bobby Roode. You know, there's probably some stuff that you can do there. But you are right, having him as a producer, maybe. I didn't consider that. How far do you think till we get some big Bray reveal? Do you think it's still a few weeks or something soon? The story has been spinning its wheels. I actually think the story's picked up in the past few weeks, mainly because of the attacks and him being in the mask. So, you know, that masked character attacking LA Knight, which Bray claims is not him. Obviously, there could be the twist that it's not him. And I think that would be very interesting. So if it turns out to be Bo, for example, or if it turns out to be Dutch, or if it turns out to be Vincent, or who knows, right? That could be... Because right now, everyone's like, it's Bray. Yeah, it's Bray. He's not admitted yet that it's him, but it's Bray. But there is a chance it's not. There is a chance that it is actually someone else. And then he could be like, I told you, why didn't you believe me? Type situation. So I'm actually... I'm all right with the story at the moment. I'm all right with the story because I think it was starting to spin its wheels until LA Knight came along. And then the past couple of weeks, we've seen a bit of back and forth between them. And now this masked person, which we think is Bray, attacking LA Knight. I'm definitely ready for another step now. I think if this is going to be another week of Bray attacking, then I do think that would be a bit of a mistake, because I think that you do want to escalate it now and you do want to go to another level. I think a lot of people were hoping that that match would have been made for Survivor Series. It wasn't. I think some people were maybe hoping that Bray was going to be there and there was going to be like big reveals and all this kind of stuff, and there wasn't. So I don't mind it because it does make this SmackDown interesting, because obviously it's been a week. I think part of the thing is you can't overexpose Bray. It's really important to make sure that the story is just going at its pace, like whatever pace they want to go at. Just let it go. Don't rush book. Like, see it happen in AEW all the time, like where it's just things happening all the time, like matches happening. You don't know why they're happening or how they're happening, and it turns out maybe something was announced on Dark or Elevation or Rampage or And like, it's just everything's got to have instant payoff. It's got to be here. It's got to be now. We need to move on. We've got to move quickly. It's got to be quick. It's got to be exciting. We need to go to Summit next week. Like, and then when we're done that next week, and once we've done that reveal, we need to have like, he's got to be attacked. And then when he's attacked, then we need to do like the big promo thing, and it needs to set up the match, and then that match needs to be next week. And everything's got to be here and now and quick and fast. And oh man, take a break. Do you know what I mean? Slow. You can slow it down. And if there's one person that can go at a slower speed, I would say it is Bray, because there's a lot of little nuances and there's lots of little bits in there. I mean, don't forget, it was only last week that we got the telephone number, which when you called it, it was like a doctor that was talking and talking about a patient. And the really interesting thing about that is that there's theories doing the rounds that maybe he wasn't talking about Bray. The only thing I would say is that the telephone number apparently is the same number as on Bray's form. So it definitely hints towards it being Bray. So I feel like it was about Bray. But these are all the little kind of nuances, these just little things that you can get your teeth into, and just little things you can ponder and think about and wonder where the story is going when the story is going at this pace. If the story was to go quicker than this, you wouldn't be able to think about those things because the answer would have arrived. So rather than being like, oh, I wonder where they're going. Oh, no, that's where they're going. That's what it would be. Rather than going, oh, I wonder if it could be that. Oh, no, it's not. Because bang, 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 it would be coming at you really, really quick. So I actually don't mind this slower storytelling. It allows you to think about things. It allows you to theorize about things. And that, honestly, that's the secret sauce. That's the secret. Like, getting people to think about things and getting people to wonder about it and reflect on it. That's what gets them involved. That's what brings them in. That's what, makes people feel a part of this journey. And some people are like, this is too slow. Oh my God, I'm losing patience. They're not losing patience, right? They might be like thinking they're losing patience, but they're not going to turn their back on Bray, right? They're not going to turn their back on WWE. They might be getting a bit frustrated that it's slow, but they'll soon be watching as soon as it gets to the match. As soon as it actually gets to, the match and where they want it to be now, they'll be watching. Don't worry, they'll be watching. So my feeling on it is, like, we don't need to rush. I think that you don't want to go too slow as well. Like, you don't want it to, like, really drag and be painful and be like, genuinely, I just don't care now. I just don't care. But I don't think we're anywhere near that. I think they keep giving us just enough to keep it going. Because as we said last week, we got the telephone number, which when you called it, that was really interesting. And then it's only been the past 2 weeks that a masked person has been attacking. And that's been really interesting. And then you go back, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? That's when he first started confronting LA Knight. And that was a step in the right direction as well. So I kind of feel like they are giving you things and just enough to push the story along, but not to the rate where it's like everything now. And so there's no need to ponder or wonder about anything because here's the answer. So I'm all right. I'm all right with the Bray stuff. I really am. I'm all right with it. I definitely would like more than just an attack tonight. And I must admit, the fact that we got the telephone number last week, it does definitely make me think QR code or something along those lines tonight. I really think you're getting something because I think they know that Bray fans are looking for a bit more than just a promo. I think they know that Bray fans are really hoping for more interaction. And the fact we got the number last week, I thought was very interesting. So, I am hoping for more than just an attack by a masked person in the background this week. And we'll see what we get. Rami said, did you see the bad AEW ratings? It was up against no competition. I did. I got told about them, yeah. And to be honest, I think that this time of year is a bad time of year, right? I'm not going to make excuses for them, but December is awful for wrestling. December is holidays. People are out. They're buying presents. They're seeing family. It's just traditionally a dead time of year. I mean, if you think about the kind of shows you get at this time of year, we're sort of building towards like TLC now. That's what we would have. And last year they didn't even do TLC. I don't know if they dropped it because the views were so rubbish or what it was, but they didn't even do it last year. Like, instead, we tried something new, and we tried Day One on the 1st of January, and now that's been dropped. So we don't even have that now. So obviously, if TLC was killing it, it wouldn't have been dropped. So my feelings are that just wrestling at this time of year is just a little bit flat. It's just a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't really, it's not a great time of year. And so I'm not going to make excuses for them. I do think their product is not where it was. And actually, we spoke about this during the AEW watch along. And there's people out there that don't want to hear it, of course. And there's people out there that are going to disagree. And there's people out there that are going to tell you they're the best shows, that AEW have ever done. I think the truth is that the product is struggling at the moment. I think that they're heading in a better direction, though. But it's going to take them a while to get there because the Elite have only just come back. Obviously, there's no sign of CM Punk. They've been hit with some nasty injuries. For example, there's no Adam Cole. So there's no Adam Cole. We have only just had Kenny come back, and then when he came back, he got suspended along with the Bucks. I mean, don't forget, Kenny, I don't even know how long he'd been back for, but it really wasn't very long until he then got suspended. So I feel like they've been without Kenny Omega for don't even know how long. Thunder Rosa, of course, she was their women's champion. She's still out injured. So they have been hit with some injuries. They have made some bad booking decisions. They've had all the backstage drama. And I think what that has done is I think it's hurt their momentum. I actually think they had a lovely little run of getting over 1 million, and then it just ran out of steam, and then it dipped down, and now we're hitting December, and so now it seems to just be dipping down that little bit further. And I mean, look, once we get into the start of the new year, and I'm sure they're going to look to try and find a way of bouncing back, of course. But when we get certainly into the start of the new year, I think we'll start to see them trying to, rebuild and regain momentum. And they'll start to do that now. I don't know that it's going to work now because, as I said, this time of year is just not great. So I don't know that it'll work for them now. But I think you'll maybe see some more positive moves in about 4 weeks' time. I think once you get through this holiday period, then January I expect them to be back up in the 950 range. And then it's just going to be a case of, can they get everyone back? Can they build a bit of momentum? They'll have a UK show that's coming up, for example. So they'll have a few things lined up where they'll be like, yeah, we can do something around that or build towards that. Or, like the UK show is going to be big. I don't know when that is exactly. I know it's next year. So yeah, they struggled. And, it's hard. The truth is, it's hard. It's just hard. Everyone is battling for views. Everyone is battling to get eyes on the product. And it's hard. Week after week after week, it's very, very difficult. I think if anyone, looks at it and thinks, well, they should be doing 950, they should be growing, it should be 1 million, it should be 1.1. This is the real world, man. People are playing video games. They're going out and seeing friends. They're watching Netflix, they're on their mobile phones, not even watching TV. The world has just changed so much and continues to evolve and change that it's just harder. It's getting harder and harder and harder and harder to get people to watch your product. And of course, if the product was red hot, people would be tuning in. So I'm certainly not making any excuses. But I don't know. When it comes to that kind of stuff, I feel a little bit sorry for them. Because I do think, there's some bad booking in there, definitely. But, they're trying. They're working hard. They're putting up a decent fight. And, they're getting all right numbers. But I think it's just the time of year. Mitchell said, Pulisic is cleared to play. Do we have a chance? Pulisic is cleared to play. Do we have a chance? You definitely have a chance. You definitely have a chance. I am leaning towards you guys. doing it. I don't even think... Well, Pulisic helps. I actually think Pulisic's a concern. I think Pulisic is a concern. The reason why I say that is because he is claiming to be 100%. They're saying that he's 100%. Is he really 100%? Is he really 100%? Or is it just the case that he's saying it, they're saying it, and they're going to use him because they want to put him out there? But is he really 100%? Because if not, I do just worry he'll get found out. Like, you really need maximum effort. Maximum effort. You need to be closing those players down. You need to be running and pressing and working so hard. And my concern is that if you are carrying someone, if you're carrying Pulisic, then my concern is that you're going to get found out. You're going to get found out. And then, you know, it will be very difficult. Very, very difficult. So if he's 100%, and he really is 100%, and he can run for 90 minutes, close down, battle, do everything, I give you a great chance. I actually think you go through. If there's any sort of issue there, I think that you've got a bit of a problem, because it's going to need a full team effort. It's very much like when you played England. I mean, I would say England are better than the Netherlands, but this is also a knockout game. And the Netherlands are a very proud footballing nation. They've got some fantastic players. I mean, in Gakpo, they've got one of the in-form players in the world. So, you know, they are a side that's got Virgil van Dijk, wonderful defender. Frankie de Jong in midfield, plays for Barcelona. They've got Gakpo, who's on the verge of moving to Manchester United. Like, they've just got great talent. They've just got great talent. But I was so impressed with how the USA went about their game against England. If you can replicate that, if you can close down the players, not give them space, really suffocate them and force them into making a few mistakes, you can really get at this Netherlands team. I think you can, dare I say, bully this Netherlands team. Like, I feel like certainly they don't have an amazing striker. Gakpo's, you know, doing really, really well, but he's not really an out-and-out number 9. He's not someone that, like, you know, he's not Mbappe. He's not like Haaland, Erling Haaland or anything. So I think that we are looking at a very close game. I think it could go either way. This is why I say it's fine margins, and you need Pulisic to be 100%. And I'm going to give USA the nod. Whilst we're on that, we are going to be watching it. We are going to be watching the game tomorrow. You can see at the bottom, we've got 2 games tomorrow. So we're doing every World Cup game this weekend. So we do Netherlands versus USA, and we are also doing Argentina versus Australia. That game is really important, because if USA go through, you play the winner of that game. So if you go through, we find out who you play, and we get to watch them. And how much are you going to be hoping Argentina go out as well? How much are you going to be hoping Australia do a job for you? So, we're going to be watching both those games tomorrow. And then, of course, England step up on Sunday. England against Senegal, and France versus Poland on Sunday. So, and we're doing the Tyson Fury fight, and we're doing UFC. It's a busy weekend. AWC Legend said, who do you think should go inside? It's winter. You think you should go inside? It's winter. You think you should go inside? Oh, got you. I didn't have a clue what you were on about, and I'm sure that came across. It's actually a lovely, I'm in Qatar. This is Qatar. I'm actually here for the World Cup. So I'm here in Qatar. I'm trying to be on a rooftop so I can elevate myself above all of the human rights issues. And I am keeping lovely and warm as a result. Lovely and warm. It's toasty actually. So no, we're doing all right. AWC Legend, we're doing all right. It's Brazil versus France or England, says Miguel. Well, in the final, I wouldn't rule out Spain. Spain are looking pretty dangerous as well. There's a few little twists and turns that this could go, but England are in with a shout. France, obviously. Brazil, Argentina, Spain. Those seem to be the countries. Those seem to be the countries, but I don't know, man. Look, it's football. We've seen like South Korea winning today against Brazil. We've seen Portugal lose. No, hang on, they beat Portugal. We saw Cameroon beat Brazil. We saw South Korea beat Portugal. We've seen Japan beat Spain and Germany. We saw Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. We saw Denmark and Tunisia draw. We saw Tunisia beat France. Like, some of the results have just been madness. Now, there are potentially reasons for those, and we've been talking about them on the World Cup streams. But, yeah, I mean, look, this is two teams battling it out. If you don't know anything about the World Cup, and don't worry, we are going to leave this subject soon. But if you don't know anything about the World Cup, the first part of the World Cup is done. It finished today, right? The first part. Now we're into the second part. This is a straight knockout tournament now. The groups are done. Now it's a knockout tournament. So basically what happens from tomorrow is one team, the team that wins goes through, the team that loses goes out. So the drama goes through the roof now. You got 90 minutes, 45 minutes each half. If it's a draw at the end of that, we get an extra half an hour. So we get extra time. If it's still drawing, penalties. So penalties are here now as well. Penalty shootouts have arrived to the World Cup. So it's all about, if you're a smaller team, just take it to penalties. Take it to penalties. Try and score. But if you can't, take it to penalties. See if you can win it that way. So, you could, and we have seen big nations go out before in the World Cup, two small nations on penalties. So they just make it hard for the other team to score. They put everyone behind the ball, just everyone's defending. They get through to penalties, and then they knock these big teams out on penalties. Like, that could happen. And that might be what USA have to do to Netherlands tomorrow. Keep things tight. Don't concede. 0-0. Get to penalties. Knock them out on penalties. So the drama is about to go to the moon. What happened to Germany? They got eliminated. Yeah, Germany got knocked out. So I must admit, Germany got knocked out in the group stages at the last World Cup as well. They're a team that have always been fantastic, but just in recent years, they've just lost their way a little bit. And this was meant to be their comeback, if you will. They were meant to get out the group and were back. But they got put in a pretty tricky group, if I'm being honest. They got put in a pretty tricky group. Still, you would think they would get out of that group. Didn't happen. That shock result against Japan on the very first game week changed everything. And so it's Japan that went through and Germany go home. So, yeah, it was a shock that they went out. Big name crashing out. But I must admit, they not quite themselves at the moment. They're not quite themselves. So, yeah, still a surprise, though. David Walker, shout out to you, my friend. I hope you are well. He says, up days, well done to Japan and South Korea. Great defending. Come on, England. Yeah, the great thing is, all of my American friends that are watching right now, you could, if you wanted to, get behind England because they're on the other side of the draw. So it's not going to affect you. The only way that England and USA can play each other now is in the final, because USA have gone on that side of the draw and England have gone on that side of the draw. So that we'd have to get past everyone and get to the final before we play each other. So I would love for USA to get to the final on the one side of the draw. And obviously I want England to get to the final on the other. So USA versus England in the final. Let's do it. So David, appreciate the support, my friend. Hope you are enjoying the World Cup. And honestly, after the past few days we've had, I don't see how anyone can't. The drama is fantastic. Jilly said Musa is the key for the USA. He commands the midfield and directs the passes. If USA use their speed, they can win. He's a great player. Your midfield's very good. Yeah, you've got a very good midfield. And I only found out today that Musa was actually on England's books, He played a few times for England. Not our first team, but like a youth level. So I don't know where he was born, but we had him for a while, and then you've gone and took him from us. So that's a bit rude. But he's only 19. Wonderful player, wonderful midfielder. He really is. I mean, I personally have been impressed with Tyler Adams. McKinney has been battling away. I think the only thing I'd say with McKinney is that your midfielder, he's not very good when it comes to his shooting. He's had a few chances in this World Cup that he's like properly messed up. But as a midfielder, works so hard. Great battling performances. Yeah. You've got a really good midfield. Really, really good midfield. And then, of course, in your forward line, you've got Pulisic, who's, a fantastic creative force. So you've definitely got something about you. And what's exciting is it's a young team. And in 4 years' time, the World Cup is in America. So it's Canada, America, and Mexico. You right now have got a very good foundation. That's what I would say. I look at USA, and I don't see World Cup winners there at the moment. But what I do see is a very interesting foundation. And I do wonder where you will be in 4 years' time, I do wonder where you'll be. Because if you add like a better defense, you really need a better defense. If you get a better defense within the next 4 years, add another, like maybe a number 9. If you can find a star striker and a stronger defense, I don't know where you would finish. Like, you would easily get out of groups, easily. You'd have a team that I don't know that it would contend, but it would be dark horse. It would be a dark horse in 4 years' time. Definitely. It would be a dark horse. I can see you being a dark horse in 4 years' time. So, yeah, very exciting for US soccer. Very exciting. Santos Escobar is going to win the SmackDown World Cup. Oh, drag us back to wrestling, why don't you? Well, I'll tell you what, let's do a poll, shall we? Who wins the SmackDown World Cup? Who wins the SmackDown World Cup? Is it going to be... Bang. Is it going to be... Ricochet, or is it going to be Escobar? Boom. Right. England, USA fans talking about the knockouts whilst I am a Welsh person sitting in silence, says Noel. Well, it's just unfortunate, isn't it? I feel like the Welsh have been on a real journey over the past, say, 6-8 years or so. You've had a lovely crop of players. They've brought you a lot of success. You've qualified for tournaments. This is the first time you've been at the World Cup in, 60-odd years. You did so well at the Euros. I remember you getting to a semi-final. I mean, like, the team that you have had has brought you so much joy and so much success. Even though you've not actually won a tournament, I don't know that you could ever realistically expect to win a tournament, but what you've achieved must have exceeded your expectations. And it does just feel like that cycle has come to an end now. So I feel like Wales may go into a bit of a rebuild. And you need... Well, we'll see. I was going to say, like, who knows what the future holds for Gareth Bale and all of that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think that you can still be proud at what you achieved, qualifying for your first World Cup in 60-odd years. I mean, that's a big box ticked in it. It's a big box ticked. Can't look past Escobar. That man has top talent, says Harith. Legend Killer, hello. Hope you're well. WrestleBuzz said, with the rumors saying that Kevin Owens and Roman are at the Rumble and Sammy versus Roman at Chamber, do you think with no pay-per-view, Sheamus gets a title shot? He's the person I would choose. Yeah, he's the person I would choose. I think it makes sense because he is on SmackDown, unlike Kevin Owens, who is on Raw. I know that doesn't really make the biggest difference because obviously Roman is a champion of both shows, so it doesn't really matter. But I just think, like, Sheamus is here, is on SmackDown. He is sort of in a feud with the Bloodline at the moment anyway. He had a banger with Gunther. I don't think we've seen him against Roman because Sheamus has been a heel for so long. Now he's a face with the Brawling Brutes. It totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. So, yeah, do Sheamus in December. Do Kevin Owens at the Rumble. Do Sammy at Elimination Chamber, but I'd rather you didn't. And The Rock at WrestleMania. I'm proud of our journey, reaching the World Cup. Not disappointed. Not going to be angry if Bale decides to retire, but I wish I could see him play for Cardiff, says Niall. Steve said, the trouble with wrestlers like Eric Young is they're hardcore, intense wrestlers, and then WWE book them like CBeebies pantomime characters, and it ruins their characters, says Steve. Sean said, since there are 2 nights, Roman should defend 1 title on each night. You see, I wouldn't do that. We spoke about this during the World Cup streams. I wouldn't do that because I just think that's a bit moody on the other talent. I just think it's a bit off for other people that would like to main event WrestleMania. I understand that you do what's best for business, but I don't even know that like having Roman twice is best for business, because I feel like you're even borderline overexposing him. So I feel like you have him fully focused on The Rock. You have him fully focused on that, because that is a mega. That is, do you know what I mean? That's Hogan Rock, isn't it? It's Cena Rock. It's Andre Hogan. It's got to be the biggest match you can make right now. I can't think of a match that would be bigger. I can't. I mean, you could say Stone Cold and Roman, but I think because of the family connection, because they're related, I don't even think that's bigger. And we saw Stone Cold this year. So, you know, oh my God, Stone Cold's coming back to wrestle a match effect is going to be a little bit lower this time, because we just saw him wrestle against Kevin Owens. So I feel like, and The Rock's still shredded, man. Have you seen him? He is absolutely dripping. So I think that The Rock, massive star in Hollywood, I feel like this is the biggest match you can do. I wouldn't distract from that by trying to build Roman against someone else just for the sake of defending a title. I wouldn't do that. I would leave the first night for someone else, give them that moment. Maybe the women, for example. Maybe Ronda against Becky for night 1, and then main event of night 2 do Roman and Rock. I love the idea of having him defend it in the Royal Rumble. I love that. Have Roman lose one of the belts, and then just go into WrestleMania with just the Universal, and then someone else has got it and someone else can defend it, and then, you know, that means that it's not a problem, is it? So look, there's lots. I feel like there's different ways that you can go with this. There's like however you want to book it. Basically, you can take it. There's so many different like options that are on the table, and it's just down to one man to make a decision, isn't it? It's just down to Triple H to decide what he wants to do. Until they stop with the undisputed stuff, there's only one title, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, says Dark Angel. Rock is about 20 pounds heavier than when he wrestled, says Jeremy. That's if we get Rock at Mania, says Noel. Who do Portugal play next? They play Switzerland. So Portugal versus Switzerland, and they will play the winner of Morocco and Spain. So we could have Spain versus Portugal. And for all of you geography fans, you'll know they're actually connected. So that could be fun. So Spain versus Portugal could be a quarterfinal. England versus France could be a quarterfinal. Croatia versus Brazil, or Japan versus Brazil, that could be a quarterfinal. And Argentina versus USA could be a quarterfinal as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at with the World Cup at the moment. But England needs to get past Senegal, and USA needs to get past Netherlands. AEW's 18 to 49 has been tuning out in droves. It's dropped 39% from 44 to 0.26. This week was the lowest since March 2021. WWE are very steady. Is AEW just losing people's interest? Well, I think that, I feel like we've spoke about this. I feel like their booking is not in a great place at the moment. I feel like their momentum was stalled. I feel like if this is not the time of year to try and regain momentum, this is not the time of year that you're going to really be hoping to turn the ship around. I think with WWE, they have benefited massively by Vince going, Triple H coming in. I think they've also managed to bring in, I mean, if you think about the number of stars that have returned for WWE in recent times, like that is great at making your show can't miss. Like, oh my God, what? I mean, I had it earlier. I had people going, do you think Sasha's back tonight? Do you think Charlotte's back tonight? Like, there is this sort of expectation that anything can happen on SmackDown, anything can happen on Raw, because we've been seeing people coming back under this Triple H regime, right? The problem is you can't do that every week and it's not a long-term thing. But what WWE have managed to maintain at the moment is momentum. They've got some momentum. They're holding all right. I do expect their numbers to dip as we head into December. I do expect it to become, unless they're going to do like, you know, more like hot shot booking, if you will, and do something like, you know, bringing back people and setting up title matches and all of this. And they could absolutely do that. They could absolutely utilize Sheamus versus Roman. Tune in next week. Could Sheamus be the one to end the title thing? Here's Sasha Banks. Here's Charlotte. Here's whoever, right? As we said, Eric Young, rumors about him, rumors of Chelsea Green. Like, I feel like WWE have just got that momentum. It doesn't feel like that's there with AEW. AEW tried to do it with putting the title on MJF. They've now made Jamie Hayter the champion. And actually took the belt away from Thunder Rosa. I think the Acclaimed are pretty fun. So they're obviously looking to like do stuff with them. The Elite are now back. So, you know, that pay-per-view, is it Full Gear just the other week? That was the reset, if you will. So this week's numbers were always going to be interesting to see if it had lit that spark, if it had managed to, you know, boost the numbers that they wanted to, and it doesn't seem to have done it. But as I said, this is a hard time of year to regain that momentum. This is a hard time of year to turn ships around because people are shopping, people are distracted, they're going off to see family, they're, you know, buying presents online and doing all this. Like, people aren't as focused on the normal things they would normally be focused on, to be honest. Works, you know, if you work in retail, for example, work becomes, you know, so much busier. And I would imagine like quite a few industries get a lot busier around this time of year as well. So it's just a weird time of year. And you know, historically it shows that it's just a bit tricky to regain momentum at this time of year. And if anything, things can really dip down as we get further into December. So my feelings on it are that, you know, come January, they're just, you know, they just need to find something that like lights that spark again. They just need to find something that, you know, gets that momentum going away. And I just think this time of year is going to be tricky for them to do that. So I don't know. I don't know if people want to put the death nail in AEW's coffin, but I don't think that that's what's happening, to be honest. I think that, you know, these there's ebbs and flows. And as I said earlier, I think it's really, really difficult. I think booking and keeping momentum and everything is a real challenge. On night 1 of WrestleMania, Roman defends the role of Tribal Chief against The Rock, and night 2, Roman defends against Cody, says Butterbarn. In all honesty, I think Ricochet deserves a push. Yeah, Ricochet's really interesting because I loved him as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, but he's never quite done it for me here. I don't know. I feel like something's not right with Ricochet. I don't know if he needs to go back under a mask. I don't know if he needs to have an interesting gimmick. I don't know if we need to do some vignettes. I mean, what he can do visually is very impressive, but I think there needs to be some mystery around Ricochet. I think there needs to be a mystique around Ricochet, and that doesn't exist. There is none. Or he's just seen as a guy that's just booked 50-50. That's it. He's a guy that can do some amazing stuff, but he's just booked very 50-50. And he's never really been pushed. And, they gave him a mid-card belt. And who knows, maybe if his booking was amazing, it would change my opinion. But I know when he was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, I really liked him. I really gravitated towards him. Obviously, he did well in New Japan, but they're a lot better at booking smaller wrestlers than WWE are. It's not really WWE's forte. So, I mean, look, he's making money. I'm sure he's making real good money. I don't know. I'm sure he'd like to be booked better. But I would love to get some mystery and mystique around him. I really would. If they ever had a pay-per-view, how would you start AEW WWE feuds? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I know that's a really boring answer. I'm not interested in the slightest in it. I'm really not. I'm not bothered by it. I think that the books are really annoying, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't like their match style. I think that the gimmick that they come down where they're being sprayed and all that kind of stuff, I find it a turn off. Like, I don't, and I'm quite, vocal about it on AEW as well. I quite often say I just don't like the books. I don't like watching the Young Bucks. There's people that I do like I might be interested in doing something with Jamie Hayter. But to be honest, I mean, like, Bryan Danielson's one of my favorite wrestlers. I've seen him in WWE. So, like, I don't need to see him have a match with WWE people because I've seen it. And MJF could be fun. So, MJF against someone could be fun. But I seriously don't know that I could really put together a card that I would genuinely be that bothered by. Because, I mean, like, Jamie Hayter, maybe the Acclaimed, MJF, a lot of their talent is WWE talent. A lot of their talent is WWE talent that we've seen in WWE. So it's like, you could use Jon Moxley and do Moxley against Seth Rollins if you want. Could be fun. Little callback. But I mean, this is what I'm saying. I'm going down the list and I'm like, I'm not bothered about the House of Black. I'm not bothered by... I'm certainly not bothered by Anna Jay. I'm certainly not bothered by Jericho Appreciation Society. You could maybe do something with Jericho. But I've seen Jericho in WWE, so it's not one that bothers me. It's not one that I get crazy about. I think if you're someone that loves the Lucha Bros and you love the Young Bucks and you love I don't know, Sammy Guevara, and you just love all of that style and you love all of those wrestlers, then I'm sure you could sit down and go, okay, right, I'd do Ricochet versus Sammy, I'd do Young Bucks versus Usos, I'd do this and this and this. I just, there's a lot of them that I just watch and they don't register with me. There's a chunk of wrestlers in AEW that I really enjoy watching. I really enjoy watching Kenny when he's on his own. I really enjoy watching Jamie Hayter. I really enjoy watching Danielson, but not enough to put together a show. Not enough to go, yeah, let's take them and let's put them up against WWE. As I said, maybe that's a reflection of where they are at the moment. Maybe that's a reflection of the fact that things just feel like they're stalling a little bit. Maybe there should be more. And then if there was more, maybe they'd be, having better viewing figures. I don't know. But yeah, I would really struggle to put a show together. Maybe if it was like a 6-match card thing. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if it was 6 matches and it was like a takeover, I could do that. But if it's going to be like a flipping 12-match SummerSlam or something, I think I'd struggle, to be honest. Could you see Jamie Hayter going to WWE? I hope so. I really like her. I really like Jamie Hayter. She really is a bright spot. She is just she's a great wrestler who she sells really well. She's crisp. She's believable. I think that you can get lost in her matches as well. I mean, one of my favorite matches of the year is Jamie Hayter against Toni Storm. The storytelling in that was so fantastic because for the longest time, you've thought, like, is Britt Baker going to turn on Jamie? And so Britt comes down, and straight away, my feeling was, oh my God, she's going to stop Jamie from winning the title. And then, like, I think Jamie goes to the outside, or no, Toni Storm goes to the outside, and you don't quite know what Britt's going to do, but she starts beating up on Toni Storm, and you're like, oh my God, she's actually helping Jamie. She's going to help Jamie. And just that little swerve of, I didn't expect that, was enough to make me go, oh my God, they're going to do this. They're going to put the belt on Jamie, and Britt Baker's going to help her. So straight away, you're in, man. I mean, you're in anyway, but like, you're extra in now. And then this is the genius part. Then what they did is they had Britt untie a turnbuckle pad, right? So she's saying to Jamie, like, throw her into this. And of course, there's a reversal, right? So Toni Storm reverses it and starts to throw Jamie towards it. And then in that split second, you're like, oh my God, I know what they're doing now. What they're doing is they're going to have Britt help Jamie, but she's still going to cost her, and she's not going to mean it. So this is like, oh my God. So she, like, that's even more interesting, because if she did cheat her on purpose, you'd be like, oh my God, the fallout, you know, that'll be fantastic. But it's a little predictable. But this way, she didn't even mean to cheat Jamie. She didn't even mean to cheat her. And she's going to still cost her the title. And Jamie's going to hate her. And Britt's going to be like, I didn't mean to do it. Like, and you kind of, in that split second, that's where my head went. And I was like, oh my God, that's an interesting turn, which I didn't expect. That's not what happens. What happens is Britt actually covers the turnbuckle with her body to ensure that Jamie just hits into Britt. She doesn't hit into the exposed metal. So Britt saves Jamie. She saves her from, like, hitting that turnbuckle. And so Jamie goes into Britt instead. So she sort of helps her again. And then, like, you know, Jamie goes on to win the match. It's an amazing moment. She becomes the new women's champion. Britt has totally helped her as well. And, like, you just go, oh my God, it's amazing. The twists and the turns. Like, that for me is just a fantastic example of some in-ring storytelling that really took me on a journey. And I was like going, I think this is going to happen. Oh, no, now we're going there. Oh, this is why we're done. Oh, no, now we're going there. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. If you've not seen the match, I would urge for you to check it out. I believe it was at Full Gear. Toni Storm against Jamie Hayter. And, like, it was pretty clean as well. Like, I don't remember any botches in there. There was nothing that looked silly. It was just a real good match between these two women who both want to prove that they are the best in this division now. And, you know, Britt coming down, getting added in. Oh, so good. So good. So the stuff in AEW that I think is brilliant. The stuff in AEW that I will defend till the cows come home. But then there is stuff, as I said, like the Young Bucks, where they just hit each other with a million moves and they don't sell anything. And they just, that's just not for me. That is just stuff that for me looks really good on social media. And, like, if you're not into wrestling, like, you can watch that and go, geez, look at that. Like, wow, do they do that every week? Do they? Like, it's visually impressive, but it's not. It's not got there's no drama. There's no depth to it. It's all just surface. It's just surface, like, spot. It doesn't have that depth that I was just talking about with, like, you know, Jamie and the drama and the back and forth and all of that kind of stuff. So there's definitely some amazing stuff that goes on in AEW, but there is some stuff which I just kind of, it's not for me. Dismiss. That's the word I was looking for. One day, I would love it if MJF goes to WWE. He should stay and thrive in AEW. WWE needs to give Cody a belt, Sammy a belt, Bray a big feud, Rock Roman, not forgetting work for Kevin Owens. I saw Alvarez talk about how the 6-man main event on Dynamite tanked the ratings to 792. Well, that's interesting. That's the stuff Those matches with the Lucha Bros and the Bucks and all of that stuff, that's the stuff which I even said during the watch along, this is AEW. This is it. If you could put a match in a bottle, this is it. This is what the fans, seem to want. So I'm very surprised at that, because that kind of spot, big moment, like, just, oh my God, this is awesome. Holy ship chants, all that stuff. That's what you get in those matches. But it doesn't have that depth. I don't find it satisfying. I can't. Just watching people do these moves and they're not selling them. They just get back up for another move, a moment later, and then a moment after that they're on the offense themselves. Completely no selling what's happened before. It's not for me, but it has seemingly been for the AEW fans, and it's been what they have enjoyed. And that's fine. I mean, that is what they enjoy, and that's fine. It's just always been a barrier for me, that's all. From the start. I can remember saying that there was a cage match between Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks that did exactly the same. And I remember watching it, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I was bored, and Meltzer gave it 5 stars. And you go on Twitter and everyone says that it's one of the best things they've ever seen. And it was like match of the year contender and all this stuff. And I genuinely was bored. I genuinely didn't like it. But that's fine, isn't it? Because that's wrestling. I mean, that is wrestling. I've often said wrestling is like music. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't all love folk, and we don't all love reggae, and we don't all love country. But you've got all those different styles out there. And this is a style of wrestling, this version of wrestling, this Young Bucks style. That's a style of wrestling, and there's plenty of people that enjoy it. So I don't know what the one-off show ratings are saying, but this is their style. This is what they've always done. This match is a match we've seen again and again and again and again in the history of AEW. So I don't know if that was a one-off or if maybe tastes are changing. Maybe I don't know, but yeah. Look, just to put a bow on it, I think there's some really good stuff in AEW, but I think there's some stuff which, as I said, is not quite for me. MJF said, I think once Roman loses the title, he should feud with Bray. Matches that are spot heavy feel a bit forced. They don't hold the same value for me as well. Ryan said Sasha Banks trademarking the name Mercedes Moné is the end of her WWE run. Her versus Jade Cargill would be goods. We spoke about that, though. I don't see it. I don't think that she leaves WWE and the reach of WWE to go to a company that's smaller and a company that's getting like not even 1 million views right now. I mean, don't forget when she's on Raw, she's getting 1.8 million views, and then she's got WrestleManias and SummerSlams. And not only that as well, like there's just the exposure, the WWE's YouTube account is at nearly 90 million. I mean, like just take TV away and look at the social media reach. Social media platforms, WWE's a monster. It's one of the biggest in the world. So is she going to go to AEW after being part of something like WWE? I don't know. I don't know. Someone like Sasha has got options to release music. She's got options to go into films and do acting. And I just feel like she's got a lot of options on the table. I certainly don't see her getting into a match with Jade Cargill. Not over a mid-card belt in AEW. I mean, if she goes to AEW, she's going straight to the top. AEW Women's Champion. She'll have that belt, and you might as well retire it. I mean, why would you ever take it off her? Like I don't see her and Jade Cargill, but I don't think I see her going to AEW full stop. I don't think I see her going to AEW full stop. Not unless like she so desperately wants to continue wrestling. But with so many other options on the table, like I think she's really enjoyed doing The Mandalorian, for example. I think she's really enjoyed doing that. So she might want to look to continue doing that. If you smell. Shakeem, shout out to you. Is it true that William Regal go back to WWE? That's the word on the street. Word on the street is he's going to go back to WWE. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think that, you know, we've been talking about this during the World Cup streams. He is someone that is great friends with Triple H, and they've known each other since WCW. And so as soon as Triple H was put in charge of the main roster and Vince retired, as soon as that happened, I think it became a lot more likely that he was going to come back. So yeah, I think there's every truth in the world to it. Yes. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got. So we know we're starting with Sammy tonight. Sammy. This is Friday Night Smackdown. The old Smackdown. Buffalo, New York, Progressive. Sami Zayn, Sami Uso. Sami Uso making his way down. I forget who he's facing. I can't remember. Sammy, yes. It's on FS1 tonight, yes. Sasha will be on a new show with Nikki Bella. Birth of Sami Uso. Yeah, well, they love him, don't they? They're all big fans of Sami Uso now. Even Jay, so all of that drama has gone. So Michael Cole said many would argue that Sammy is no longer an honorary use. Wade Barrett said that man is full family for me now. So we've got Sammy in the ring. Sammy. War game. Right. Brilliant way to start the party. Right, we're just seeing back at War Games. War Games. Days FIFA 21 PS4 is flipping awesome. Oh, that's good. Glad you're enjoying it. I don't know if there's like videos, I'm guessing there are, that will like tell you like some of the best things to do on the game. Like I would imagine if I was to get it, for example, I'd feel lost. I know that you'd be able to play a quick game from like, you know, an exhibition or whatever, but I should imagine there's so many different like features in there, so many different game styles. I'd probably want to watch a video showing me around. I'd probably want to watch like someone just going, right, this is what you can do here. It's really good if you want to do this, this, and this. Check this out if you want to do like a season. This is where you can like alter the teams. Like I would need a video where someone like gives me a tour. That's what I would need if I bought like a game as big as FIFA. Because my understanding is it's a pretty big game. I think you can do quite a lot with it. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. But what can we expect from Bray tonight? Well, we got the phone number last week. So I'm wondering if we might get like a QR code or something along those lines. We'll find out. Look, we got Sammy in the ring at the moment. So we're actually going to start with a promo. There's no Roman, by the way. The Bloodline is in your city. The Bloodline. Guess what, Jay? The Bloodline yet again leveled up. Well, no, my dog. We're not going to... Tonight is about you, my dog. Tonight is about you. My dog. They were chanting Sammy Uso, so Jimmy says we're not going to do that. Tonight's all about you. We got a Sammy Uso chant. Sammy Uso. Good. Sammy Uso. Goosebumps, like he's showing him. He's got goosebumps. Jay said, I doubted you for a long time. I didn't like you. We know. But you earn my respect. ASAP. This is too much. I don't know what to say. We got one question, my dog. How you feeling? Usi chance. How you feeling? Is there another right now? I'm feeling pretty freaking Usi. My dog. I don't know what we're doing. My dog, look, he's calling Jay over. Look, he's got this one going as well. Come on over. I don't know what this is. Oh, my dog. Oh, my dog. He's doing that as well. Oh, he's doing the double. Oh, it's gone into a bit of a robot. That's nice. That's nice. Solo doesn't give a flip, does he? Solo doesn't give a flip. Even Solo's not an Uso. That was nice. That was nice. I think it's enough talking for tonight. Sheamus is here. Right, Sheamus making his way down. Right, Sheamus against Sammy. This is going to take up quite a bit of time, innit? More Oos to the Oos. SmackDown is better than Raw. FS1, my dogs. My dogs. Christopher Rogers, hope you are well. Christopher, shout out to you, my dog. Solo is the Usos' younger brother. I know, but he's not even Solo Uso, is he? He's just Solo Sikoa. Even he's not an Uso. He'd have to be an honorary Uso as well. Solo Uso. Solo Uso. Usolo. Usolo Sikoa. Usolo Sikoa. Oh, yes. Days, did you ever get your Twitter back? No. They sent me an email saying, so I sent an appeal, and they sent me an email back going, if you feel that your account has been wrongly suspended, then lodge an appeal here. Which I haven't done because the World Cup started. So it's going to be one of them, innit? Go here, click here, send it here, speak to this person. Hop on one leg on a Thursday, and then eventually you might get your account back. I I heard that he was giving suspended accounts back, wasn't he? I've heard all this outrage. I've heard all this outrage on TV about how all these people are getting their accounts back. I haven't got my account back. What's going on? There's all these hate mongers out there that are spreading fake news, that are spreading hatred, that are spreading vile and bile, and they're twisting the minds of children with their language and their words and their lies. Oh, they can have their accounts back, but not me. Jeez Louise. If Elon didn't fire everyone like an idiot, then you would have had your account back by now. Travis said neither did AEW botches. What? That didn't AEW botches what? Get taken down or? I'm just having a little look to see if anything's happened because I haven't actually checked today. Your account is suspended and not permitted to perform this action. God damn. Nah, still suspended. Mental in it. For those that haven't heard, because I do run the risk of people thinking that I'm some kind of criminal, I shared links to these streams. That was it. I shared links to these streams. I must admit, I did it in the past on an old account, Wrestling Days UK. Shared links to these streams, and they thought that it was links to the actual shows. In all fairness, I didn't put no copyright content at the top, right? No one tells you that you have to, right? But I started doing that when my first account got suspended, and I've done it for years, and no trouble whatsoever. No trouble whatsoever. Yeah, as soon as I put like no copyright content, that's my way of saying like there's no, this isn't to the actual shows. So the first one I like, okay, well, you learn a lesson, don't you? And so this one, I started doing that, and for years it worked fine. For years it was absolutely fine. I've been doing UFC, I've been doing boxing, I've been doing Raw, I've been doing Smackdown, I've been doing premium live events, I've been doing all of our streams, Euros, Olympics. Think of everything. I think of every stream I've done. I pretty much share a link on Twitter for it, and it's never been a problem. And then Elon stuck over, and now not only is it a problem, but my account got suspended. So not only was it like, where was the warning? Where was the, listen, we've changed the rules. Don't share links to streams or something, which I've never received that information. Instead, it's just, oh, looks like your account's gone. Guess what I've done? So thanks, Elon. Thanks, mate. Does anyone have any peanut butter cups, says Paul? No, maybe. The Super Bowl. That's true. We did the Super Bowl. You're right. Hashtag give Days his Twitter back. Yeah. Well, I mean, all I'd say is don't start that hashtag because you might be targeted as well. Because clearly I've been targeted. And I don't want you guys getting in trouble. My Twitter is alive and well and has never been suspended, said Hayden. Oh, my Twitter's alive and well. I've never been suspended. Oh, is that right, Hayden? Is that what you're saying, Hayden? So you've decided, Hayden, to come onto this stream and gloat about how, oh, my Twitter's all right. Hey, Days, guess what? I've got a Twitter account. That's the approach you've taken, Hayden. That's what you thought you would do today when you woke up. You thought, I know what I'll do. I'll rub it in. I'll rub it into Days. That's what I'll do today. Days, guess what? Oh, what is it? I've got a Twitter. Do you think Dijak is better now as the original character? I don't know. Let's be honest. I'm trying to think like his, not T-Bar, but his original character, he didn't really have one, did he? Like, I feel like his entrance is really cool now, so I like his entrance. I thought that the match was too competitive. I didn't think the match needed to be that competitive. But, and his promo was a bit wordy. I do like, obviously, I do the review videos. And what I was saying is that I love the entrance. I love the fact we're doing something with him. I just think the match was a little back and forth, and it didn't need to be. Not against Dante Chan in his first match. Like, just have him kill the guy. And then, like, afterwards, it's a bit wordy. It's a bit like, I'm here to bring justice. My kind of justice. The kind of justice that only I can deliver. It's like, no. You don't need to be that wordy. I said in the review, just call out a name. Just say a name into the microphone of who you're going after next. Just say the name, chuck the microphone down and leave. So much more impactful. Like, rather than saying, like, all this waffle. So, there's definitely a couple of things that I would tweak and change. But altogether, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Sammy is going for the pin, 2, and shoulder up by Sheamus. Shoulder up by Sheamus. If you have just joined and you want to know what you've missed, you have missed a double arm by Sammy Uso. And the Usos, you know, that like greeting he does with Jimmy. That one. Yeah, that kind of a thing. He's done a double one with both the Usos because Jay's his friend now. It was good. It was funny. Sammy's the best. Hello, Days and everyone in the chat. Very Irish potato. Shout out to you. Marvelin said, who are the 10 stars you think will be future Hall of Fames? I mean, to be honest, I think the majority of people on the roster will be in the Hall of Fame. Bailey goes in the Hall of Fame. Charlotte goes in the Hall of Fame. Becky goes in the Hall of Fame. Randy goes in the Hall of Fame. Sheamus goes in the Hall of Fame. Kevin Owens eventually will go in the Hall of Fame. Roman will go in the Hall of Fame. Miz, of course, will go in the Hall of Fame. Like, I feel like anyone that's been around for a fair while, I think there's a good chance they go in the Hall of Fame. I don't think anyone would even mind if R-Truth went in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you. I mean, has R-Truth had a Hall of Fame career? I genuinely don't know. I mean, what he does have is longevity. So he's been around for a while, and he's done anything that's ever been asked, and he's brought some great comedy to the show. This is where it gets difficult, isn't it? Because the Hall of Fame is not just for those that reach the very pinnacle. It's not just for your Andres and your Stone Colds. You know, I mean, like Queen Sharmell went in. Queen Sharmell went into the Hall of Fame. Like, you do sort of look at some of the people that have gone in and you go, how? You know what I mean? Like, if that's the benchmark, then R-Truth is in. R-Truth is definitely in. So I think there's a lot that go in from the current roster, from this crop. Sammy trying to get over to the ropes. Mitchell, hello, bud. Mitchell said Solo mentioned on a clip that he hadn't seen Roman in 20 years before Clash. Do you think that's the reason he would join The Rock? And says even though The Rock was busy, he still visited Solo. Do I think that's why he would join The Rock? It's a really interesting question because I actually don't know what's going to happen if we do get the Rock match. I feel like people are going to be split. They won't know. Like, I feel like the loyalty to Roman will be tested. He could do that. He could say that. He could be someone that leaves Roman in the build towards that match. Because like he wants to stay with Roman. But maybe Roman's shouting at him and he's making it difficult. And then he turns around and says, look, I can't do this anymore. Something along those lines. You know, The Rock was always there for me. And to be honest, you weren't. Maybe we do get something along those lines. If we get The Rock Roman, how the bloodline reacts is going to be fascinating. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Because The Rock is, you've got to think God in that family. You've got to think what The Rock has achieved in that family. They are so proud of him. Not only what he did in the ring and with his career, but also now biggest, actor in Hollywood, dare I say. For me, he's the benchmark. He's the one. He's the tribal chief. He's the real tribal chief. And it's going to be really interesting if he's back around to know how the Bloodline react to that. So Solo could venture away from Roman. Yeah, he could venture away from Roman. I don't know. I don't know how that. I don't know when or how. If it's before or if it's after. If it's during WrestleMania. Like, I don't know. I feel like there'd be cracks. I feel like you would tease cracks. I think there'd be a lot of little looks. You know, like Jimmy and Jade just having a look at each other in the background. Just sort of like, what we doing? What do we do now? Like, it's never been a problem before. But now all of a sudden, you know, maybe you've got The Rock saying to them, you don't need to follow him. You don't need to follow him. He doesn't, like, the way he's treating you is not right. You know, you're part of this family. You're Anna Wise. Like, you stand up for yourselves. Like, and like, I could just see there being a little side glance, a little like, what do you think type moment. It could be fascinating. That could be really juicy. Could be really juicy. So I like that, Mitchell. I like that a lot. Jean-Pierre says, I heard that it'll be Solo that turns on the Bloodline to have The Rock come in. Looks like he never puts up his wands. What do you think about that? I've not heard that, to be honest. I'm not saying that's not what's going to happen. But I'm trying to think, how would we feel about that? How would we feel about it? I wouldn't mind. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's rumors doing the rounds that Rock's in the Rumble. And do you tie it in with that? So do you have Solo, like, saying that he's going to go and get someone and they'll be in the Rumble? And maybe you approach it that way. Why would he do that, though? I feel like we need to give Solo a reason to do this. We need to give Solo a reason to want to get The Rock, and I don't think we've necessarily done that yet. So I think there'd be a few unanswered questions. I think we need to give Solo a reason, and then we need to know how we're doing it. Are we doing it in the Rumble? Are we not doing it in the Rumble? You know, there need to be a few things that get worked out, but I wouldn't mind, to be honest. I think if you mistreat Solo and Solo turns around and goes, you're going to regret that. You're going to have to answer to him. And off he goes. And you just, like, you know, Roman, like, tilts his head or looks at the Usos and the show ends. Like, people are going to freak if something like that happens. People are going to freak. So yeah, I don't mind it. My only thought is, how do you book it? That's like, how do you do it? So Jean-Pierre, shout out to you. That's interesting. Some interesting thoughts this evening, isn't there? As Sammy gets a power bomb by the looks of it, but shoulder up by Sheamus. Obviously, we're 20 odd minutes into this show. 20 odd minutes. 20 odd minutes. William Regal coming back this month, hence the MJF attack, says Mark. Right, Sammy in the corner. Sammy looking for a haluva. Charging over, no joy, gets picked up. Looking for lovely white noise. Lovely white noise by Sheamus. And kick out by Sammy. You've got the Usos pounding away on the edge of the ring. Good little match, this. Good little match. It's just been, like, playing out in the background whilst we've been having a few conversations. But it's been a fun little encounter, to be honest. So Sammy getting his shoulder up. Sheamus is back in the corner. We've got the Brawling Brutes out there trying to offer some advice to Sheamus. Macho Man's in the crowds. Here we go. Sheamus on his feet. Could you imagine if Macho Man was still alive, by the way? Could you imagine that? And we, like, had him coming back for, like, reunion shows. Oh. That'd be the best. Here we go. We've got Sheamus going to throw in some big clubbing blows. Boosh. Pounding away. Yeah, look at him go, man. Look at him go. So Sammy goes down, tries to get back into the ring. Sheamus over in the corner. Listening out to the fans. Slightly mixed reaction maybe for Sheamus. He's going for the brogue. Setting up for the brogue. Of course, the Usos distract. Jumping on the back is Sammy. Sammy is talking to the ref. Top rope enziguri. He's looking for a blue thunder bomb. Gets it. 1, 2. Oh, close. Close. Big strike to the back there by Ridge. We got fighting on the outside. Fighting on the outside. Knee to the midsection by Ridge. Solo. Wow, Solo. Solo coming over. There's a bit of a weak-looking shot by Solo, actually. Slamming. That was not weak, though. Slamming Butch on top of that LED barricades. Ridge and Solo. Super kick there by Solo, but the camera goes back in the ring. Knee strike by Sheamus. Oh, the Usos are in. Super kick. 1, 2, 3. Sammy wins. Sammy wins thanks to some outside interference, and people are on their feet applauding, you know. People are applauding. People don't care that the Usos cheated as long as Sammy wins. Nice. Nice. It's such weird. It's so weird, isn't it? Like, he's a heel. He's benefiting from, like, heel stuff, but the people just love him. The people just love him. So, outside interference. So, Sammy down on his knees. Right. Trent said, is it cold out there? Nah, to be honest, as I said, we're live from Qatar, host nation of the World Cup. It's a very hot country, Qatar. And so it's a lovely warmth in the air. Of course, it's middle of the night here, so it's not cold. It's not cold. I'd say it's pleasant. Pleasant is what I would go with. There's a nice one. I'm feeling oozy. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling very oozy. Right, so we've got the wands being thrown up, apart from Solo. Okay, smile on the face of Sammy. We're going over to Michael Cole, Wade Barrett. I came to see Wade Barrett, says the sign in the background. Has he signed it? That'd be nice if he did. Sammy Uso wins. No, celebration, said Smurfy Tunes. Celebration. Right, we're looking at the SmackDown World Cup. As everyone knows, the real World Cup. We're just seeing Santos Escobar. And we're seeing Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar. I will make sure the SmackDown World Cup is in the rightful hands of the Perfect Enterprise. Soon you will all see the Emperor. Oh, I love that. Does that mean he's in a relationship with Asuka? The Emperor. The SmackDown World Cup will give Legado a first-class flight. Has she got a new tattoo, by the way, on her, like, leg? Look like new ink. That looks like new ink. Okay, so this is pretty standard stuff. Clink. Clinky clink. Ba-ba-ba! Tonight, the World Cup final. I can't believe we've not made a bigger deal out of this. The World Cup final is tonight. Amazing. Bro thinks his Blackjack Pro said, Pablo. Have fun, Pablo. Let's go. Right, we are at commercial break. I think there is some new ink. I don't know what it is. It's finally coming home. James said the feeling is Usi thing was dumb, wasn't funny, and has already outlasted its welcome, said James. Oh, I think the Usi thing was good just because it got a react. I mean, it cracked him up. Do you know what I mean? Roman said to, like, Jay, is it true? Are you not feeling Usi? And Jay's like, and you know, I mean, that's it then. People are going to love it, aren't they? I do admit you got to be careful with it because, like, you don't want to overdo it. But people are bringing signs saying they're feeling Usi, and people are into it. I like Usi things, says Sonny. I'm a fan of Zelina, says Hollywood Guy. She had some, I swear she had some new ink. I want to know if people are saying that about Zelina or if it's just me. I just noticed these things. Do you know what I mean? I just noticed these things, guys. I mean, it could be she's had it forever and I should have noticed before, to be honest. Zelina. Mother Zelina. Zelina. In all fairness, she might have had it covered up, mightn't she, with some boots and stuff like that. And so maybe I've just never seen it before. Or can I just say, if you put in Zelina, all it is just people saying the word Zelina, and then, like, you know, the emoji where it's got, like, hearts in the eyes. It's just literally that. That's all it is. It's just people going, Zelina, Zelina. Yeah, I mean, what I've established is that she's a very popular lady. Very popular. It was on her leg. It was on her leg. Zelina Vega was wearing a nice outfit, said Krista. Maybe builds new sanity. Pablo, they are married. Confirmed Days is a leg person. I'm a trying to notice some things person. That's what I am. Is that new? Maybe it's old. I don't know. I'm that person. Rate the Zayn Sheamus match. I think it was about a 6.5. Yeah, I'd go about. Maybe I'd be a bit kinder and go 7. But it was around that. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was, oh my God, we need to go back and watch that match again. Absolutely amazing. Kind of good. But, yeah, I thought it was good. I can't quite tell, you know. I don't know what it is. But, like, they give that first match time. They always give that first match about half an hour or 20 minutes or something, yeah? And I can't tell what it is. I don't know if it's the commercial interruptions. I don't know if it's just that I don't want a match at that point. I don't know, but, like, rarely does that match, like, blow me away. It never feels pay-per-view worthy. It always feels good, but never great. Never great. And I don't know why. I mean, that's Sheamus versus Sammy. It was a good match, and I would agree about a 7 out of 10. But I never watched those first matches and go, oh my God, this is just fire. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know if the wrestlers just don't go that far, or if, like, the crowds are still warming up, or maybe the commercial breaks are an interruption, or I don't know what it is. Here's Kofi. I will be. Oh, it's going to be in the Rumble. Didn't he botch it this year? So Kofi wants to be the first to announce for the Rumble. Not the biggest shock, is it? Because Kofi always does the like the trying to survive elimination thing. Here's Imperium. They're nice Imperium shirts, aren't they? You want to have a match. But my tag partner's not here. It's Gunther. Tonight you'll fight me, says Gunther. Oh, that's not what Kofi wanted at all. Here's Bray. Do you know what I think's wild? I think we're spoiled. Okay. We forget we were wild animals. Some must die so others can live. So we got a Bray promo. I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight. Just seeing last week. So we're just seeing LA Knight down at the moment. And we keep seeing, like, I think a lot of the same imagery. If I did hurt him, you would know because there'd be none of them left. But I hurt you. Just want to look at this again. What do you think about that? So we get a backstage promo with Bray. He's talking to the camera. He says, we're spoiled in this day and age. We're all on our phones. We forget we're actually wild animals. I think he says like snakes eating rats or something like that. And he says, no one looks at that as an act of violence. Some must die so that others can live. But I told you I was not the one that hurt LA Knight. And then he looks at the camera and then he says, I hurt you. But I didn't catch that bit. He says, I hurt you, and I don't know who he was talking to. He says, I hurt you, and you rejoiced. I think pay-per-views Royal Rumble. I do feel like we need more Bray. That wasn't enough, says Scott. Oh, I'm sure there will be. I'm very sure there will be more Bray. They did. I seem to recall they did this last time. That we're starting to see now a few moments throughout the show that's Bray. I'm sure there'll be some LA Knight later, for example, and then he'll get interrupted or attacked, or there'll be something, you know. So I feel like that was just the first part. Hollywood Guy said, what's your opinion on Eric Young leaving to go to WWE? Where will he fit in, tag team or singles? I think that we could be looking at Sanity, maybe, because obviously we've just had Nikki Cross go back to her Sanity self. And yeah, you could always put him in a tag division with like Bobby Roode. Like you could do that. Like I wouldn't mind seeing like either of those. I mean, I wasn't the craziest about Sanity. I thought they were fine. And I thought there was some potential there, but I don't know that we ever got going with them. Certainly not on the main roster. So maybe there was some potential there, but and she is obviously in a relationship with Killian Dane. So you could get Nikki, you could get Killian, you could have Eric Young, you could reform Sanity quite easily. Let's see where he goes. Let's see where he goes with it. So Hollywood Guy, shout out to you. I still believe that the person who got LA Knight is either Rowan or Bo, said Canadian Kids. Long Beach Hippie said, do you remember Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds for the World Championship? Is unbelievable in today's world. Ogre Picker says, he said, I heard you. Oh, I heard you and you rejoiced. I thought he said, I hurt you. He said, I heard you and you rejoiced. I heard you. Right, I wonder who he was referring to. I'm sure that clip is doing the rounds. I find it. No complaints. Emma is definitely going to get destroyed. If he said, I heard you and you rejoiced, it's still us rejoicing at the Fiend, says Trini. It is true. I mean, people did react very positively when he mentioned the Fiend. So that's a very good thought. Click on this. The whole 2 minutes is up on social media right now. Here, I'm going to listen. What does he say? He does say, I heard you. He says, I did it. We don't want to be the freak. Emma's backstage, by the way. Oh, here's Madcap. I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight. I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight yet. Then we go to some clips. Oh, it's so hard to make out. I think he says, I didn't, but I heard you. It could be I did it, or it could be I didn't. Flippity flip. I think he says, I didn't, but I heard you. And you rejoiced. I'm feeling Usi, says BTNH, fan for life. We're just seeing Emma and Madcap. Competition is tough. But you're Emma and you belong here. It's nice. She's going to get battered now. You got this. She gonna? Oh, I thought she was gonna kiss him. She does kiss him. Oh my god, it's amazing. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's amazing. She's got the shades on. She's getting ready. You got this. You got this, Emma. You got this. I'm an Emma stan. Guys, I just love. Although she is about to get battered. So Emma against Shayna Baszler. Emma's about to die. Right. Emma versus Shayna Baszler. Come on, Emma. What can you do? I'm just gonna listen to the end of this. You rejoiced. How primal of you. You would all know there would be none of them left. So he comes back and he says, I didn't, but I heard you. I think he says I didn't, and that doesn't make any sense. What's he on about? I did. We just come back and he goes, I didn't, but I heard you. I think that I didn't is maybe a reassurance. He's saying that he didn't attack LA Knight. And then I think when we come back, he's like, I didn't, but I heard you. And you rejoiced. How primal of you. If I had been the one, you would all know there would be none of them left. If it was me who did it, there would be none of them left. It seems like it is someone else, but it could also be him, and he doesn't realize it, says Canadian Kid. Thanks a lot for recommendation. Hello, Retribution. Shayna should face the winner of Ronda versus Becky, says Peter. Mr. Unfamiliar said he's lying to himself. No one cares about this match. Madcap does. Madcap does. He got a little kiss, didn't he? He got a little kissity kiss. Emma over to the corner. Shots coming into the midsection. Forearm strike. Emma goes against the ropes. Charges over. Down goes. She's just a little slow, isn't she? Emma there. So she goes like against the ropes. It's like very gentle coming off. She then like tries to do a clothesline and Shayna goes down. Back elbow there by Emma. And forearm by Emma. And again. Shayna going against the ropes. Reversed. Emma goes against the ropes. She holds on to the ropes. Shayna in between. Looking to turn her upside down and drops her down. 1, 2. Kick out by Shayna. What else is he talking about when he says there would be none of them left that would imply it's more than LA Knight? Well, I wonder if he's talking about wrestlers, like the locker room. There would be none of them left. If it was me, if I was taking out wrestlers, there'd be none of them left. Do you think it's that? Do you think he's just talking about wrestlers in general? I heard you. You rejoiced. I think that's interesting. I like what Trini said about how the fans, when he mentioned the Fiend, the fans rejoiced. I heard you. You rejoiced. How primal of you. If I had been the one, you would all know there would be none of them left. She taps. She tappity taps. Shayna beats Emma. She beats her. Shayna Baszler beats Emma. Don't expect to see Rude. He's just had neck fusion surgery, says James. Thank you, James. We've got Emma going over to the ropes and bang! Shayna Baszler kicks Emma in the arm. Come on, Madcap. Come on, Madcap. Save her, Madcap. Save her. She's a damsel in distress. Who's coming? Is it Madcap? Ah, you're not Madcap. Unless it's Madcap in green hair. Shotzi in it. Duck underneath by Shots. Shots is firing shots of her own. Kick to the midsection. Shotzi goes down. Knee strike by Shayna. Down goes Shotzi. So, she's got her arm. She's twisting her arm around. She steps over. Puts the arm down. Gonna stamp on the arm. Who's coming down now? God, what's happening now? It's Raquel Rodriguez. Jeez, we're just gonna bring down the locker room. Raquel's still got her arm in a... I don't even know what that is. It's like some sort of cast of some description. Some sort of support. Gets in the ring and Shayna steps out the ring. So there's trouble brewing here. We've got Shotzi, Raquel, Emma. Shayna, stop it. Get some help, said Pablo. It took 3, says Shayna. Okay. Right, done with that then. So that's done. Oh. Lacey Evans is getting back to basics. Lacey is in Army. How many times are we going to repackage her? How many times are we repackaging Lacey Evans? You found yourself lost in the crowds. Weak. Weak. Something had to change. Special thanks to the Department of Defense. Where's Sergeant Slaughter? Where's the mission begins? Where's Sarge? You maggot. You've got him weak, you maggot. She needs the Sarge. We need Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter will get her into shape. I sent the tweet about Rude because I'm being called a liar. Oh, you probably are, though, aren't you, James, in all fairness? You probably are. Let's face facts. I bet your real name's not even James. I bet your real name is Chad Jameswick. I bet that's your real name. I bet it is, you know. Chad Jameswick. I've rumbled you. I've rumbled you. Wish I had that. Oh, I do have LOL. LOL. Hello. I've seen your video. You talk very posh. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Chad Jameswick's channel. Today we're going to be learning how to fold napkins. When does Lacey's contract with WWE expire? 20 years time. We're just gonna keep redoing it. She's gonna hold the record for the most refreshed gimmick ever. Do you know anyone with the name Chad in their name is always going to be a troll? That's true. That is true. That is true. Days, I did some research, says Talk Night, on Google. There's a one-man play that's called I Hear You and You Rejoice about somebody who plays multiple characters. Oh, Docky Nuts! Docky! I see you shaking that ass. So you've done some research, loving that. And there's a one-person play that's called I Heard You and You Rejoice. Have a little look. Have you got a link to it? Have you got a link? I mean, it's probably not, of course, but it's very interesting. Yeah, Dorky shaking that ass, shaking that knowledge ass. He's got his knowledge ass out. That's what he's got. Where's he gone? There's a one-man play called I Hear You and You Rejoice. I hear you and you rejoice. I hear you and you rejoice. Is it called I Hear You and You Rejoice or I Hear You and Rejoice? Because there's a big difference there. Hang on, let's have a look. What did he say? Let's go back. What did he say? What did he say? I want the exact words. There's a one-man play called I Hear You and You Rejoice. I hear you and you rejoice. Okay. I hear you and you rejoice. I hear you and rejoice. I can't find this thing. I can see I hear you and rejoice, but I can't see I hear you and you rejoice. I was calling you a liar, said Bearded Bronco. Hey, we've already established he probably is. Street Fighter Ingrid said, Days, is Boa coming back? I don't know. I don't know where he's gone. Perhaps he used his magic powers to send himself to a different parallel universe and he can't get back. Don't know. Are you feeling oozy? Always. Ellis Stubbs said, what are we talking about? Oh, Dort Knight said he's found a play that says, I hear you and you rejoice, which is sort of the line that Bray just said. And apparently it's a one-man play all about multiple different personalities. I think we can agree is interesting, can't we? I think we can agree that. I'm going to agree that. He did say something about snakes that eat the rat. Randy is a snake. Who is the rat? Vince McMahon. Days, it feels like they've planted the fiend seed. I agree. Yep, I agree. It confuses me as to why Scripps isn't trending. Good point. Hashtag promote Scripps. Forget hashtag fire Ronda Rousey. Hashtag promote Scripps. That's the real movement. That's the real, you cowards. You absolute cowards. Anyone can put hashtag fire Ronda Rousey. Takes goats to tweet hashtag promote Scripps. That's the real movement. Right, we're just hearing from Ricochet. Scripps will never be seen again. Did the Iranian soccer players get punished for losing? Did you hear anything? No. Didn't hear anything. But then, I don't know that if they did get punished, they would want that to be known. Okay, Kofi's in the ring. Here's the Gunther. I'm so gutted it's not his original music. Giovanni Vinci. Gonta! Giovanni Vinci. I love it. I love Samantha Irvin for that. Giovanni Vinci. Gonta! Right, Gunther's here, by the way. Strange news, there is a Britney Spears Monopoly game. Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm sure you could do loads of jokes, couldn't you? If you start beating someone, do they get angry and turn toxic? If you want to get another hotel, do you say, hit me, baby, one more time? If you win the game, do you go, oops, I did it again? Do you think Bray hasn't wrestled yet 'cause he's hurt? He's got his knee in a brace. Well, I mean, that could be playing a factor. And also could be shaking off ring rust. But also, I just sort of think, like, what's the rush, to be honest? When it comes to Bray, we've said before, wrestling is not his forte, right? I'm not being nasty, but it's not what he's strongest at. What he's strongest at is telling a story and, like, developing characters and Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff in the background, you know? That's his strength. When it comes to the in-ring stuff, like, you're watching wrestling and you'll be like, yeah, this is good. This is all right. But it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like we're watching a master at work. It's not going to be a 5-star classic. It's not going to be a 5-star banger every time he wrestles. He is fine. He's a brawler. Gets in there, just brawls away, you know? And that works for him. I just don't get this need to get to matches so quickly. I don't feel that. I am not sat here wanting matches. What I am sat here wanting is the story to move along a bit. I want to know who the flip Uncle Harper is. That's what I want to know. Who's Uncle Harper? Is there going to be a Wyatt 6? Are there other people with him? What's he doing with Alexa Bliss? I'll tell you what a fun video would be to do, actually, and that is the 10 questions I have about Bray Wyatt right now, where we just ask the questions, then we do our best to try and answer them where we think they're going. That could be really fun, couldn't it? Might do that Sunday, actually. Once we've got this episode out the way, on Sunday, I might do that Sunday night, just put a video up that's like, here's, I don't know, say the 5 questions. Here's my top 5 questions regarding Bray Wyatt. Question number 1. How are you? I don't know. But it would be like, you know, what's happening with Alexa? It would be, who is Uncle Harper? It would be, is he really attacking these people? Or is Uncle Howdy a separate person? It would be, you know, who's he going to be feuding with at WrestleMania? Or what's the long-term plan? Or is there a Wyatt 6? Blah, 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 blah. But I must admit, I'm not sat here going, oh, I want him to have a match. I'm not sat here thinking that. I'm sat here thinking all them things. So, yeah, he might have a little knock. He could have a little knock. But I seriously don't think there's a rush. I seriously don't think there's a... I don't think there's a roosh. See, that's funny because that's the name of a wrestler in AEW. He's called Roosh, but it's spelt the same. So it's a wrestling joke. If you didn't find that funny, that's on you. That's not on me. If you didn't find that funny, I'm too funny for you. And you should check yourself. Braun's come down, by the way. Braun's decided that he wants to ruin this match. And so he's grabbed a hold of Giovanni Vinci. And he's dumped Giovanni Vinci into the timekeeper's area. Also in the timekeeper's area goes Ludwig Kaiser. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So Braun interrupts Kofi and Gunther, don't you dare. Oh, I was going to say, don't you dare have Gunther lose. Don't you dare. Gunther on the outside. And we are at commercial break. Giovanni Vinci. He goes over the top. Braun rips his shirt, stares at Gunther. Gunther just leaves those two to it. They'll be all right. It'll be all right. After the Rumble, I think we should have something revealed by then. Braun, I don't remember asking for your presence. That's a great point, Ellis Dub. Austin said, that's a great joke, Days. Thanks, mate. It's so great to have Austin back and his non-stop positivity. Appreciate it, buds. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. John said, joke of the year right there. Spelt year wrong, but love it. Love it. There are so many ways that the Bray story could go. I thought since Bray, Bo, and Liv are Geminis, maybe the Wyatt Six consists of those three with multiple personalities. I mean, I'm amazed you know they're Geminis. I'm stunned. Stunned. I wouldn't even... no, but I could sit here for the next million years, and I don't think at any point it would cross my mind to check their star signs. I don't think at any point I'd be like, I need to know what star sign they are. So that's very interesting that they are Geminis. So shout out to you. Shout out to you for going the extra mile. I seriously would never have even considered looking at that. That'd be fun if it was those three and they all had split personalities. Be fun. Austin is my best friend in the world, says 1 Minute Wrestler. Oh, no, he's my best friend. It's not your best, he's my best friend. We'll have to fight. We'll have to fight over whose best friend he is. I just love him for his positivity. LS Dub, Austin is SSL positive, life-giving soul, says Irish Rebel. Go USA, go England, says James. That's it, James. Respect. I agree. Go USA, go England. That's what this community is all about. Let's get an England-USA final. Love it. Did anyone see Guardians of the Galaxy trailer 3? I've got a feeling I'm going to violently sob. I'd violently sob if I was forced to watch it. Why are you doing this to me? I like culture. Like pro wrestling. Nah, I'm sure it's great. Good luck to the Netherlands as well, says Austin. Marveland said, I thought I was your best friend. Yeah, you are, Marveland. Silly. I just have others. Still trying to figure out if Bray is in a feud with LA Knight or if he's trying to recruit for a faction, says Portington. Ah, hello, Portington. That's a great name. Can you get me Portington? Get me Portington. You want Portington? Get me Portington. But sir, we haven't seen Portington since the incident. Don't want to hear it, Jenkins. Get me Portington. Susan? Get Portington. I love that. That's a great name. I mean, I feel like I just acted out something in the Ministry of Defense. That's what I was feeling. I could see the room. I felt at times I was talking to Moneypenny, and like there was a lot of moving parts. I feel like you felt like you was watching James Bond for a second there as well. I did. I really just came over me. It's a great name. Portington. Love it. I feel like it's an agent that's just retired now because of the incident. And even the Ministry of Defense don't really want to be using his services, but them Russians. Those Russians. Someone's got to deal with the Russians. Get Portington. Oh, yeah. Someone needs to make that film. Anyway, we're underway with Gunther and Kofi. Nice turning over, sitting down, lovely looking Boston Crab. It seems like Braun has decided to just let this match continue. He's come down, he's beaten up the two people at ringside, and gone invisible. I don't know where he's gone. I'll tell you where he's gone. He's gone to book his tickets to watch Portington. That's what he's gone to do. He's gone running to the cinema. Right now in my mind, he's just running down the street like this. Portington! And as he's going down the street, he's barging into people. He's just barging into other people as he's running. There's just old women going into shop windows. Children going in front of cars. Portington! Love it. Oh, God, there's a whole thing playing out. You know, sometimes when you just get a thread and it's just... Woo. Pinned by Gunther. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. Braun went to beat up flippity-floppity wrestlers, says Austin. Yeah, well, someone needs to. Imagine, can we just unleash him on the AEW locker room? Could you imagine if, like, we had a little backstage thing in AEW and then burst through the door? Braun's like, Portington! Runs over. It's just bucks flying everywhere. Lucha Bros. Love that. That'd be so much fun. That's how you improve the ratings in AEW. Lovely work by Gunther. Gunther picks up the victory. Gunther wins. Gunther says to the ref, don't hold up my hand. Just put that belt around my waist, Grandpa. I don't know that he said Grandpa, but he should have. Never staying stagnant. This is Gunther winning clean against a former WWE champion, you know. I know, like, Kofi's in a tag team, but that's still former WWE champ Kofi Kingston that just got pinned by Gunther. Imagine Gunther against Portington. Oh, flipping dream match. Gunther versus Portington. Backstage with Sammy Usos. Solo. You've been making a lot of enemies. Let Solo do his job. Good oos. Good oos. Sammy Uso in the bloodline. And you okay? Okay. And we saw how War Games went down. It's interesting. Oh, here's Sheamus. Here's Sheamus. Sheamus beating up the Usos. Banger after banger after banger after banger. Okay. One of the things that Vince era was going to give us that Triple H dropped the ball on Bobby Lashley versus Gunther. So we just got a little moment with the Usos. Jimmy just said to Jay, did you ever get an answer about Sammy lying to you? And he was like, nah, big dog, Big Oos looked at him, saw what he needed to see. And we saw what we need to see at Survivor Series. And then Sheamus came along and just beat them up. Sammy, banger after banger after banger. Right, guys. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. I just saw, I don't know who it was, but someone was it Trenton? Is it Trenton? Someone was just like, Days, check Sean Ross app. Okay, there's someone coming back to WWE. I'll give you the name, but it is going to be a bit of a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear it, how do I do that? Do I do that? Yeah, if you don't want to hear it, then just step away for a moment. Like, step away for a moment. When do I do it? How do I do it? Trying to figure out how to do it so that people know when to come back and when to go. Okay. I'll count down from 5. Once I've counted down, I'll say what it is. And then, like, literally about, a few seconds after that, you can come back. Okay, so 5, 4, 3. That's hard. 2. Oh, my God. 2, 1, right? Tegan Knox, apparently on her way back, done and dusted. Sean Ross that. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get, like, that finger will, well, I suppose it won't go all the way down. It'll go down to there. That'll go down to there, but it's a challenge. That's hard, That's kind of hard, Can I do it in that hand? That. It's hard. That. Okay. I have to really concentrate to do it. That. Yes. Dave's trying to give us the shocker. Yeah, that is hard, says me. It is difficult, isn't it? Like, you can do it, but you have to really concentrate. That. Okay, that one's all right. That is a difficult finger for me to do. That hand is harder to do than that hand. That hand. Oh no! No, I've spoke too soon. Practice. I think once you do it a few times, you can get it. Right. Okay. Can you count? Yeah, but I don't do that. I don't know what that was. Right. Anyway, damage controller in the ring. We got the power. We got the pain. We've got the rage inside the cage. Sit down with your dumb hat. Someone's wearing a dumb hat. How dare they come to this show wearing a dumb hat? Don't want to be here in Buffalo. Michael Cole must have missed me. Lay into Michael Cole, Bailey. We were in War Games less than a week ago. Do any of you idiots realize what we put our bodies through? You dummies cheered for Becky Lynch when she won. Are we going to get Becky here? She's not here, so shut the hell up. Talking about the SmackDown roster. Chris, shout out to you. Great finger play. Keep up the great work, says Chris. It's what people tune in for, Chris. You've got to give them what they want, mate. Got to give them what they want. I feel like that's... I don't know if that helps with, like, playing guitar at all. Oh, I don't know. Chris, shout out to you, though, dude. Is this Liv? Watch me. Watch me. Bailey. Seems like you've got a problem with the SmackDown women's division. Liv says 1, 2, 3. Seems fair and runs towards the ring. Into the ring steps goes Dakota. Into the barricade goes Io. Down goes Bailey. Dakota. Io. Kicks coming in. What is hanging off Io's shoe? Like, I think part of her shoes have broken. Who's coming down now? Who's this? Oh, wow. Okay, well, sorry. I mean, didn't know that was going to happen. Tegan Nox has come down. Kick's coming in. I mean, she could... I know she's been on hard times, but she definitely could have afforded better jeans. Is it wise for of all women, do you reckon it's wise for her to have no, like, exposed knees and no, like, knee pads on or anything? I sort of feel like she definitely could do with some knee pads. Kicks coming in by Tegan. Shiny wizards. Shiny wizards. Tegan Nox is back. Hope she doesn't hurt herself again. Hey, look, it's the spoiler. I mean, I don't know. He didn't say it was this week. He didn't say it was this week, or at least I didn't read it was this week. It says here, right, I'll read it for you. Please avoid this article if you don't want spoilers. We'd mentioned Tegan Nox was coming back, but we didn't have a date nailed down. We're told the deal to bring Nox in is done, and her return is even imminent. At no point does it say tonight on the show. I was not expecting her to be on this show. So you're telling me we couldn't have brought her back at the show in Wales? That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that we decided that bringing her back now was the right thing to do. It's probably like they just couldn't get the... I know she's had visa issues and everything, haven't they? So... Liv and Tegan. Tegan looked good in those jeans. I thought you'd be more excited to see Tegan back. I'm not bothered about Tegan, mate. I'm not bothered. I don't just pop at people coming back, you know. Like, I've got to feel like some sort of connection with them. And she was injured so much in NXT. Like, I never really saw her get much of a run. I never really saw her do a great deal. Like, she had a few matches. I remember her having I remember one interesting feud she had with Dakota. And that was it. I remember when she got called up, I was surprised that she'd been called up. Like, it felt like it was a surprise. In fact, it really was a surprise because I think I'm right in saying Shotzi was in a tag team with Ember Moon. And then, like, on SmackDown, out comes Shotzi with Tegan Nox. And I remember Ember saying, like, that how disappointed she was about that as well. She thought she was going to be coming up, but wasn't to be. So yeah, I ain't got nothing against her. I don't have any connection with her. I don't feel anything. Here is Santos. I like his poncho. Santos Escobar versus Ricochet. World Cup final. And I thought this would be the main event, but it's a bit early, which makes me wonder about the end of the show, you know. It makes me wonder about the end of the show. Makes me wonder about if we're going to get something after this match. Bray related. That's what's happening up here. That's what's happening. I'm having a little think. So Santos made his way again. So Santos against Ricochet. I like it. I really like his poncho. Looks really cool. That'll look great as a figure, you know. That'll look so good. Have we seen Bray tonight? We have, yes. He was on screen. I've got it written down what he said. Let me go back to my notes. He says... we are spoilt. We all are on our phones, distracted, and we forget that we're just still wild animals. He says about how snakes eat rats, I believe. And he says that no one looks at that as an act of violence. But some must die so that others can live. And then he said, I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight. And then we saw clips of LA Knight. And then we came back and he says, I didn't. But I heard you and you rejoiced. How primal of you. If I had been the one, you would all know about it because there would be none of them left. That's what he says tonight. That's what he said. Maybe not exactly word for word, but it's sort of there or thereabouts. So he's basically saying, I didn't hurt LA Knight. He also said, I heard you and you rejoiced, which we think is probably about the Fiends. Because when the Fiend got mentioned, the fans did rejoice. So I agree. I'm into that. I think that was Trini that mentioned that. How primal of you to do that. And then he said, if I had been the one, you would all know about it. There would be none of them left. I think he's talking about wrestlers. I think he means like, I wouldn't have just stopped at LA Knight. If I had like let the darkness consume me, I'd have destroyed them all. I'd have killed them all. So I feel like that's my interpretation of what he said. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I don't know, but that's my interpretation of it. There's no more Bray. Only one segment was mentioned by Fightful, but there was also his masks on site, says Kane. Yeah, I don't think that we get another Bray promo, but I do wonder if we get like Uncle Howdy interrupting, or we get, as you say, you know, an attack again, or something along those lines. I feel like there's something Bray connected that could still happen tonight. Maybe not. Might not. But maybe. USA versus Netherlands tomorrow. Yes. And just down here, look at the bottom. This thing. Netherlands, USA, World Cup watch along tomorrow. We are doing it. If you are new to the world of soccer, then feel free to stop by and join us, and we'll do our best to... we'll do our best. Even some of the decisions make me scratch my head as well. Even some of the decisions that get called, we have to go, I don't know. We'll have to see what gets said. Football, soccer is a very simple game that can be overly complicated sometimes. But, I've been watching it my whole life, so cannot wait for these knockout rounds to begin. And good luck, USA. Good luck. Right. We got Carrion, by the way. He said he had to teach Madcap Moss. Now it's time. Ooh. Got the sight set on Ray. TikTok. Tickety-tock. So he talks about what he needed to do, take out the Fool. So he talks about taking out Madcap and how, like, we see a Fool card. And then he says, but now it's time to take out someone else. And Scarlett reveals a card. I think it's called, like, the Emperor card. It's really nice. It's I tell you what, it's a lovely card array, actually. It's a real cool, nice-looking card. Lovely collectible, that would have been, you know. Lovely collectible. You could, you know, sell them. Sell them. Signed by Rey Mysterio. Knock them out at 50 quid each. Easy. I'd buy one of them. One of them cards signed by Rey. I'd buy that. Next week, we got Shotzi versus Shayna. Shotzi versus Shayna. That match coming up. Kurt Angle! Yeah! Kurt Angle next week. Kurt Angle. So next week we've got Elias and Riddle versus Usos on Monday. Next week here we go. I mean, that's Bray's voice to me. A rebel in what you are. So, lots of images of old Bray footages. There were some interesting new shots of the person in the owl mask. I thought there was some new interesting shots there. Rebel in what you are, what you are, what you are. One and only Rebel in what you are. So he says, like, do you know about the man that lives next door? Rebel in what you are. Why was Uncle Howdy crying? He's always had that tear. That tear's been there since the start. Poor Ray. How would you feel if Nick Aldis came in? Oh, I'd be excited at that. I'd be excited at that. Not because of anything WWE have done, of course, but because of watching him so much in NWA. So I'd be excited at that. That is Bray's voice, says Wrestle with Andy. Doesn't Bro have a similar voice to Bray? Not really. His voice is not the same as Bray's. He can do a decent impression of Bray, but I've actually listened because there was video doing the rounds. People were saying that it was Bo and that he can do a good impression of Bray. And there's actually a clip of him like dressed as Bray, do it like taking the mick out of him type thing. It happened when it was B Team taking on Deleter of Worlds, and the B Team took the mick out of the Deleter of Worlds by dressing up as them. So you had, I think, Curtis Axel dressed as Matt Hardy, and you had Bo dressed as Bray. And he does an impression, and it's all right, but you can tell the difference. Like, that to me, that is Bray's voice. That's Bray's voice. If that turns out to be anyone else, I'll be shocked. I think there is a chance that that's Bray, but the person behind the mask could still be someone different. Just because that could be Bray, it doesn't mean the person behind the mask that's been attacking LA Knight doesn't mean that's Bray. That could still be someone different. That was a funny segment, says Austin. Fox is testing the water with college football during SmackDown. If the ratings are better, then they could end WWE, said Junior. Mr. Portington runs. He gets chased by the Russians. His only chance of escape is jumping from the rooftop to rooftop. He gets shot at. He's ducking. He's weaving. I sneezed. I tell you what, I love that. I love that. That's a great twist, Sonny. I'm reading a story wondering what's going to happen to Mr. Portington. And then you take me to a whole different reality and you tell me that the narrator sneezed. That's a very powerful twist. I like that. That's like deep art, I think. That's deep art. Do you know what that actually is? All joking aside, that's Brechtian. Bertolt Brecht was a person that was a practitioner. He's someone that created theatre style. And his theatre style was to constantly remind the audience they were watching a play. Constantly remind them so that they didn't get lost in the play. He wanted them to hear the message of the play. He wanted that to come across. And so he didn't want them like getting lost in the story and all of that. He wanted them to know they were watching a play. And that's called Brechtian theatre. So you telling me a story and then going, oh, sorry, I've just sneezed, takes me right out of the moment, which is actually a Brechtian device. I'm going to give you some applause for that. Very good. It's high culture. It's high culture. High culture. Lovely. Right, you're out of there! Talking of high culture. Get out of there, says Selena. You've been thrown out. Oh, they're livid. They are livid. Lagarde, go. Lagarde, go, Del Fantasma. You're out of there. Right, we are at commercial break. How long have we got? 20 minutes. I think the Wyatt six are in his head, and he is a schizophrenic. This is getting deeper than one of your microwave Chicago town pizzas. They're actually not that deep. They're not that deep. They're quite shallow, a little bit cardboardy at the bottom. I was a little critical of them, and there was an instant backlash. I I think you will have seen that. People love those because they're convenient. And they're, I mean, there is a nice tomatoey taste to them, in all fairness, so I understand why people love them. Where is the Netherlands USA FIFA game? It is 9:30. Where is the game? I came here for the game. It's you're 12 hours out, but 12 hours out. In 12 hours' time, we will be back here doing that game. I remember the one I paid a lot on YouTube. That one is hilarious, says Irish Rebel. Are you streaming tomorrow? Yes, Corey. Here, look. Netherlands, USA. It's happening tomorrow. Maybe I need to make it bigger. Netherlands versus USA World Cup watch-along tomorrow. I don't have a Twitter anymore. Elon Musk took my Twitter away. So this is how I have to let you know of things now. I have to put this. I have to do like self-promoting. So there we go. Netherlands, USA tomorrow. And then we're doing all the games. It doesn't really matter what World Cup game it is. We're doing all of them as long as it's this year's tournament. We're not doing like the 1970 final or anything. I'd watch it though, but what if Bray is out cold at the end? Could be interesting because then it might be LA Knight. That's the only problem. It might just be LA Knight. What if Solo wants to go solo, but Roman won't let him, said Dan. It's a good shout. Dan from Pensacola, Florida. And we all know what's from Pensacola, Florida. And Reigns. Do you know him, Dan? Are you him, Dan? Are you really Dan? Or are you Rodan Reigns? Are you Rodan Reigns? Rodan Reigns. Little bit suspicious that you're from Pensacola, Florida. When we know that only Roman comes from Pensacola, Florida. I'm on to you, Rodan Reigns. Alex, shout out to you, buds. Shout out to you. Appreciate the support as we drift into the final 17 minutes. It was probably Daisy's fault, says Austin. That's what I love about Austin, his positivity, as I said. Jared says, I'd like to see a four corners match for the head of the table and Jay or Solo win. Pencils and Cola. Yeah. Both of those are definitely from Pencils and Cola, Florida. Definitely gave the world those items. Suicide Dive by Escobar. Ricochet is not in a great place. Ricochet is over the commentary table. Where did Michael Cole go? Suicide Dive. Oh, there he is. He's still in the chair. I wondered where he had disappeared to. He's having to do commentary with his chair turned around. 1, 2, shoulder up. Am I the only one that thinks Rock winning the Rumble is a bad idea? No, I'm not a fan of it. We spoke about it earlier, actually, during the World Cup. I agree. I'm not crazy about that idea at all. I mean, I don't hate it. A lot of these things I don't hate, like Tegan Knox coming back. I don't hate that she's come back. I'm just not, she just hasn't done anything for me. I'm just not like crazy about it. And like Rock winning the Rumble, like I just think someone that's like full-time should win it. That'd be great for like Cody. That'd be really good for Cody to win. Or maybe Kevin Owens. Like, Owens has never won the Rumble. So it'd just be nice for those guys, like, rather than The Rock. But, because he's won it. And he's not going to be any bigger, obviously, but for winning the Rumble. It's just to get him to WrestleMania. And I feel like there's other ways to get him to WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'm not crazy about it, but it's not like I hate it. It's a real shame, though, if it's been ruined. Don't you think that? Don't you think that's part of the issue now as well? Is the fact that if The Rock is coming back and he's going to win the Rumble, and it's like that's a rumor that's doing the rounds, like that's going to be a bit of a shame. I mean, people will, of course, tune in because they'll want to see it. And it'll still be a big moment, but it will lose the, oh my God, screaming your head off reaction. Because if you know it's happening, then it's sort of, it's a shame, innit? Ricochet has got Escobar over by the ropes. He's got him up in the air. No joy. I would rather have the moment of Sammy winning. Sammy winning would be nice. Sammy winning would be nice. Yeah. I could think of at least 5 people, 10 people that I would take over The Rock winning it. Kick. Bang. On the heads. On the outside of the ring. Ricochet, flippity flips. Flippity flips on top of Escobar. My favourite rumbles are when someone unexpected wins, said William. Ricochet's pants are fire. Is that because he's a liar? Is he a liar? Pants on fire. What? I want Kurt Hawkins to win the Rumble from number 1, said Hawkins Jr. Yes. Do you think Austin Theory makes the last 4? I don't know, That's a really good question. Depends who's in it, doesn't it? I mean, if The Rock's in it, then he's going to make the final 4. If Cody's in it, he'll make the final 4. Sammy? Kevin? Finn Balor? I don't know. Like, Austin Theory, I think, would be a name that could. Yeah, they might, if they're really trying to build Austin Theory up as a legit problem, like he was a kid before, but now he's a man, now he's arrived. They might have him be the Iron Man. They might actually put him in there at 1 and have him stick around for an hour, and do that. And he doesn't win it, but he benefits that way. So whether that means he makes it to the final 4 or not, I'm not sure. But I think I could see that. If you want to build him up as a legit threat, that's a pretty decent way of doing it. So I could see that. Why the hell is Roman 7-1 to win the Rumble, but Sammy is 9-1? Don't know. Could you see Seth in the bottom 4? What's the bottom 4? Like the first 4 to be eliminated? I don't think so. Seth's a big name, isn't he? I think they'll want to try and keep him in as long as possible so that people think he's going to win. So I don't think that he would be one of the first 4, if that's what the bottom 4 is. I've never heard of that. Last 4 at the ends. Oh, that's the final 4. Final 4 is what that tends to be called. Could Seth be one of those? Sure. But the problem is, there's around about 10, 20 people that could be in the final 4. And, there's no way of knowing as to who it's going to be. I think that if Cody is in it, I think he is. If The Rock's in it, of course he's going to be in the final 4. Rock, Cody, I feel like those 2 will be in the final 4. And then you need a couple of heels, really, to be honest. You need a couple of heels, so maybe Austin Theory would be looking pretty good. Maybe Austin Theory and Finn Balor. Something along those lines. I sort of feel, though, that you're going to need a monster. You're going to need, someone like a Moss or someone. You're going to need someone that, how the hell is... If you got The Rock, how the hell is The Rock going to eliminate a Moss on his own? I feel like you might need that. So, actually, if you want a curveball, maybe a Moss in the final 4. Maybe you do Theory, a Moss, Cody, Rock. Rock's down. And so it means that Theory and Amos work on Cody and they eliminate him. Then maybe Amos turns on Austin Theory after he's been in there for an hour. And so it just comes down to The Rock, who's down in the corner, and the Nigerian giant, who's fresh. And then Rock finds a way and wins the Rumble. Yeah, just do that. I mean, I'm not crazy about The Rock winning it, but we've booked it. We've booked it. It's done. Type it up. Type it up. Send it over. They can have that. Well, I mean, we're basically doing their work for them. We're basically doing their work for them, and I don't know why. I don't know why we're doing their work for them. We are back to the show. What if the lights go out, everyone's gone, and Bray wins? Well, he'd have to be one of the numbers, wouldn't he? Because if that happened, I'd be like, but we've had all 30. We've had everyone. He's not an official entrant. How can he win? I'm sorry. We might want to skirt rules. Or we might want to think that rules are not cool. Right? We might be sitting there going in the back of the bus in our leather jackets like, hey, baby, I'm a rule breaker. I don't follow rules. But that's not me. I'm at the front of the bus. I've got a shirt with a pocket and like pens in. I've got my thick glasses. Like this. I've got bandages on them. Like that, yeah? I've got a brace that goes around my head. And my pens. And I got my notepad. Like this. And I'm telling everyone to be quiet so I can listen to what the teacher's saying. That's what I'm doing. Where are we without rules? Rules are important. If we have all 30 people in the Rumble, we get down to the final 4, the lights go out, come back on and Bray's in the ring and he wins. I would go full on nerd and I'd be like, excuse me. I don't believe he was an official entrant. Because we already had all 30 people. And also, I didn't technically see him eliminate anyone because I don't know they went over the top rope because the lights went out. So how do I know if they went over the top rope or the bottom rope? I don't, do I? I don't. So I would shut that down. Ricochet on the top. Oh, he's a little bit wobbly. Oh, we've got both of them on the top. Back elbow, back elbow. Dan from Pensacola, Florida. I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you. Ricochet's down. He says, acknowledge me. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. Acknowledge me. He said, sadly, I never met him, but I played against him once back in high school football. Did you? Did you? You played against Roman Reigns in high school football? That is sick. That is sick. That is so impressive. I also watched one of the Usos' first matches in the gym at high school. They were about 13 years old. Okay, well, I wouldn't go around saying you watch 13-year-olds, and I certainly wouldn't be putting that on the internet. But I am very impressed that you got to play in a game opposite Roman Reigns. I mean, obviously, that's not his real name. And did you know that he was in the Anoa'i family? Did you know who he was? Or did you not know? But I'm thinking about it. Because you telling me this story, you probably did know who he was. But then saying that, he wasn't anyone, was he? Back then, he wasn't anyone. He was the son of someone. But he wasn't anyone himself at that stage. Well, he was someone. We're all someone. You get my point. That's really cool. James said, prove it. Pipe down, Chad Jameswick. Yeah? Pull up a seat. Pull up a seat. And wait your turn. By the way, I don't know what any of that meant, James. I have not got a clue. Dan from Pensacola, Florida, shout out to you, bud. That is amazing. I think there's probably a fair few questions that are going to be fired in. We got a shot here by Escobar. We are into the final 5. Final 5. So we've got Escobar and we got Ricochet. Woo. Ricochet lands on his feet. Ricochet lands on his feet. Escobar looks at him, charges over. Knee strike there by Ricochet. Nice suplex. Getting up to his feet. Whoa, deadlift. Oh, it's like a brain buster. Moonsault, springboard moonsault, lands on top of him. 1, 2. Kick out by Escobar. Kick out by Escobar. Look at that. Up. Moonsault. Lovely. Big air. Big air. 1, 2. Springboard moonsault by Ricochet. How long have we got? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. The final 4 will be a Dancing Shanky, Scripps, Slam Master J, and Dink. Yeah. Oh, I'd love Dink. Is he dead? How do we never get Doink and Dink? Like, I know, I think is Matt passed away? Matt Bourne? Never get Doink and Dink. Oh, knees up. 1. Escobar. Oh, I tell you what, this is pretty fun. The crowd are into this, you know. Crowd are into this. No LA Knight this week. I played against Roman in a tic-tac-toe championship, says Unbroken. That is do you know what that is? That's a James Chadwick. That is a James Chadwick right there. Knees coming in by Escobar. I didn't have any idea who he was. I was about 14 myself, says Dan. That's really cool. It's really cool. Oh, reverse Rana. That should be the finish. 2. Hate it. A reverse Rana. Yeah, he just dumped in on his head backwards. Bang. How is that not a finish? How is that not a finish? He's standing there. Oh, everything's great. Oh, I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards, and I don't want to be. Oh, and I'm being dumped on my head. Oh. Over in the corner. Going up top. Tickety-tock. Tick-tock. Going clubbing blows. I'm Dutch and Senegalese for the next 2 days, says Scott. Ah. That means you can be heartbroken for 2 days in a row. Escobar dumped on his head. Knee strike by Ricochet. Super kick. Oh, that was a great kick by Ricochet. He's got him in position. It's going to be the 450. Going up top. Goes Ricochet. Ooh. Boom. Connects. Ricochet. 1, 2, 3. So 1,200 votes. And we got 65% of you got it right. 65% of you got it right. 34% of you need to have a long, hard look in the mirror. And you need to ask yourself, why did I think that a heel was going to win the opportunity to face a heel? That's what you need to ask yourself. You need to ask yourself that question, and then you need to say, I'm a disgrace. Don't do that. Let yourselves off. Friday night, innit? There we go. The World Cup. Whoa! Ricochet has won the World Cup. USA has won the World Cup. Say, USA, 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 USA. You did it, USA. You did it. USA wins the World Cup. Oh my God, I'm crying. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Gunther's here. Gunther's here to ruin this moment. Wow, that might be my thumbnail, you know. That might be the name of my review. USA win the World Cup! Congrats to Ricochet. TGB said USA. Silas said, you've been complaining about that reverse Rana for years. I know. But what I don't want is I don't want people going, oh, you always complain about this during AEW. You never complain about it during WWE. Right? So, it's out there now, isn't it? Because I'll be like, again, you know, pens in the pocket. Actually, if you go back to the 2nd of December, 2022, go back to the end of the actual stream, the actual show, you'll see that I did actually complain about it during the WWE stream. And it was even pointed out that I always talk about it. So consistency. That's why I mention it. Consistency. Wrestle Andy, shout out to you. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. Let's do a quick poll. What did you think of WWE Smackdown? What did you think of it? 8 to 10, 7 to 7, 5, 6 to 6, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5, or below. Trini, shout out to you. Wow, I need to get that sound, man. I keep doing it. I have to do it myself. A lot of you have probably never heard that sound effect, but there is a guy that said that. It's a famous meme. I don't know what it's from, but he goes, wow. And I saw it the other day, and I was like, oh, I need that on my sound effect thing. I haven't done it yet. I will do it. I keep doing it. Portington. Portington would suck it up. He wouldn't complain. You should try to be more like Portington. We should all be more like Portington. Apart from the womanizing thing. Shouldn't do that. And the tax thing. Don't talk about that. But everything else, we should be like Portington. Jilly said, I give it a 625. The ending sucked. Sonny said, Days Law. A door on a rooftop. Slams open. A Russian launches forward. Portington moves to the left. The Russian takes out a knife. Launches forward. Portington slides left. The knife grazes him a little. Ooh. Right, honestly, it writes itself, doesn't it? I would imagine that once you started typing then, Sonny, the words just flowed. I would imagine the words just flowed. I feel like a Portington script would largely write itself. I feel like you would be a vessel. It would be like the spirits would just tell you what to write, and you would just, do you know what I mean? Like a Portington script. I feel like in a way it's already here. It's already been written. It just literally needs to be physicalized. Like, if only I wasn't a YouTuber and I just had time to write that script. It'd be so good. It'd be so good. And we could do like a community film premiere. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Red carpet. Sonny Wolf. That'd be nice. And definitely Austin wouldn't have been invited. Chad Jameswick. Chad, have you seen James Chadwick anywhere? That's it's just lols. It's just lols. That's all it is. Lol. Right, let's go. Let's wrap this up because I'm gonna do a review. Let's do a review. So 41% says 7 to 7.5. 38% said 8 to 10. 15% said 6 to 675. And 4% said 575 or below. Right. Appreciate people joining us. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks a lot for watching and joining us. And we will be back tomorrow with those World Cup games. Massive, monstrous World Cup games. We will be back with those tomorrow. United States against Netherlands. Argentina versus Australia. We've also got Tyson Fury boxing. We've also got UFC. Then we've got more games on Sunday. And I am tempted to do that Bray thing. So I might look to do like a questions about Bray type video or something. So yeah, plenty coming up on the channel this weekend. So awesome, guys. Enjoy the rest of the evenings. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.